Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with menudelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador. Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Husker Nation. Now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Diving touchdown, Nebraska.
Does he have enough? Is it long enough?
It's going to be tipped and caught. It's caught. How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way. Totally unbelievable.
It's game day in Lincoln, America. And this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
Check this out.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador. Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good morning and welcome into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. He is Steve Sipple. I am Jake Sorensen, kicking things off live from 1040 O Street, 11th and O, the corner, northwest corner. Come on by. We've got all sorts of swag. The Mill Coffee is open. People are here. It's a great time to be alive. And we've got football at 2:30, Nebraska, Louisiana Tech at Memorial Stadium, going for 2 straight wins. Our Matt Rules Huskers. Sip, good morning.
Big question for you. Good morning. Is the crumb cake warm?
I think it's always warm, right?
Is it?
Isn't it always warm?
You sound great. You sound great.
You sound good too.
Yeah, thank you. It looks it's misting.
It is misting,
which is fine. It's comfortable. People seem comfortable. I haven't even seen an umbrella. I thought about getting the umbrella out, but I saw nobody. I have one with me, but I didn't bring it. I didn't unveil it because nobody else is.
Yeah.
Nobody's got umbrellas out yet because it's not raining that hard.
Probably smart.
And I don't think it's supposed to be raining at kickoff.
You know, I think the rain has mostly gone north and to the east of us. So meteorologist Jake is here for you because my father-in-law who lives on a farm is all about the weather. It's important for them. And he's been looking at the weather all morning long. So shout out to Kevin for being my meteorologist here as we have people walk by. Maybe they're breakers.
That's Paul.
That's Paul?
Paul and his daughter.
Is he a breaker?
Yes.
Okay.
He's 100% a breaker.
He's a breaker then. So
he's coming in.
By the way, this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive, 11th and L. Shout out to Kendall and the team over there. So let's get to it. By the way, if you want to let us know if you're listening, that'd be very helpful. 402-464-5685. A special Saturday version of the roll call from early break.
Whoa.
Shoot us a text.
Roll call.
And if you're on the YouTube stream also, again, you can just comment there. Let us know if you're watching us. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be here till 2:30. Little longer show today. We usually would be at noon, but we're going 3.5 hours today, so everyone gets a little more time. We will go till 11:25 and pass it off to Jay Foreman and DP at 11:30. But again, 464-5685. The news we were asking all week long: who's starting at quarterback today? Well, we heard this morning from Pete Thamel that officially it is going to be Heinrich Haarberg, which I think a lot of Nebraska fans are happy about based on how he performed last week, based on the fact that there's some Jeff Sims fatigue from the fan base after the first 2 weeks. Yeah. So I feel like you've got a fan base that it feels weird to say they let a deep sigh of relief out there, but I think there was a sigh of relief when you found out Haarberg was starting.
Yeah, I never know how everybody's reacting. It makes sense if that's the reaction. I just know this, Jake. This is a big day for Heinrich Haarberg, another big day, because this is an opportunity. I would think this is an opportunity for him to seize the job. Am I wrong? If he has another strong game, I thought his first game was strong. If he has another strong game, how do you go against Michigan, go back to Sims? It would be counterintuitive at that point, I would think.
I agree.
Now, the other side of that coin is if Heinrich doesn't play well, then it's maybe, it changes that conversation dramatically. But if he comes out today and asserts himself in the manner that he did last week, then you probably have your starting quarterback for Michigan.
Well, I would think so. I mean, you need somebody that is competent out there. Not saying that Sims was not competent, but he wasn't good enough to overcome the 7 turnovers that he was a part of, right?
Right.
Like if he was elite and having tons of drives or touchdowns, Nebraska was winning by 14 points. All right, turnovers not exactly welcomed, but we know that this offense has little margin for error, right? There's not room for error,
all right,
and you can't be giving away fumbled snaps and throwing ill-advised passes that everybody could have saw was going to get picked off. That can't happen. No matter how talented you are running the football or big plays that you can make, you just can't survive that. This team is not loaded up with talent. We've just said it. We've said it all offseason. We've said it through now 3 weeks of the season. You cannot beat yourself. And I think right now, and after 1 week, this can change, but Haarberg might give you the best chance to not beat yourself at that specific position.
Well, we're going to get another opportunity to see if that's the case. That was the case in his first game as a starter. So now we have to see if that's still the case. I mean, I don't know. It's unfair in a way to do it this way, but in a way it's not. It's all about performance, Jake, and he's got to perform. And if he does perform, how could you go back to Sims? I mean, I'm trying to work that in my mind. I mean, how would you even sell that to your team? Forget the fan base. The fan base matters. Of course, it always matters, but it's your team that matters.
Now, this is probably...
it's your team that matters most, above all.
Right. This is probably an unfair assumption, but I'm going to say something here. And we've talked about this. You and me talked about this well before NIL came into actual play. We said, what if somebody's getting too much money? It's hard to bench them. Now,
I don't think that's a factor.
But I'm saying that Matt Rule was pretty clear, but at the start of last week, that Jeff Sims is the starting quarterback. He said that. Even if Haarberg played well, he said Jeff Sims is the guy.
Said that last, but
that was at the start of last week before the win against Northern Illinois. He said that.
He can change his mind.
He can. And I think if Haarberg performs well again today, I think I speak on behalf of Nebraska fans saying we hope that he does change his mindset on that.
There's variables in that discussion. I agree with you, but there's variables, and one variable is practice. We don't know what's going on in practice. We do know that Rule said a couple times this week that Sims wasn't moving. Right. Wasn't 100%. Was practicing fine, but wasn't 100% in the way he was moving, which I thought was a clue as to what we were going to get. Not surprised at all that Haarberg's a starter, and there we have. Let's just see what that looks like again. Let's see if he makes plays. What are you doing right now?
Taking a selfie for our social media purposes. What? I'm in charge of a lot of things.
I know
I have
you
a
are.
lot of hats, and after I
you have a Maui hat.
You like that one?
Is it Maui or Kauai?
Actually, it's Hawaii. Thank you very much. You like these yellow bill hats,
I'm sorry,
don't you?
Pronounce that again.
Kauai. Yes. Kauai in Hawaii.
I
the
do
smallest
like that.
island out there.
It's an interesting choice for today.
Here we go. This is a good text, and I think you appreciate this because I did this all the time. Someone says in the text line, "Oh, it's been a while since Jake has spoke on behalf of the fans." That was nice. He said that was nice.
really dangerous.
No,
to do
I
that.
did it all the time. He says, I think I speak on behalf of everybody. I haven't done that for a while.
I think I speak on behalf of the fans. Everybody's a little
I
different.
think Bill would respond to that on early break if we did that. No, Bill, I speak on behalf of everybody here. So let's be real.
I think you know how he'd react.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know? Interesting.
Think
All
he'd
right.
make
Well,
that-
Jake said so.
He'd make that one face.
Yep. No, this one?
Yeah. The totally taken aback in a bad way face.
So, okay. So Heinrich Haarberg gets the start today. Now, again, we found out this week earlier that the unfortunate injuries to Gabe Ervin and Ramir Johnson take them out for the season. So my question, I have an over-under question for you. Anthony Grant will be Nebraska's starting running back today. If I said the over-under is 22.5 carries.
Oh, man. Under. I'm going to say
That
right
was a
under.
pretty confident under.
Yeah, I'm going to say right under.
So you think 20 or 21?
Well, I don't think they're going to need him deep into the fourth quarter.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think he could get 18, 17, 18 entering the fourth quarter, get 4 or 5, 4, and be right under.
Well, I think that if you're a Nebraska fan, you hope you don't see him in the fourth quarter. That's a good sign for a blowout or a confident, comfortable win, which is the key. I mean, this team needs. I know you said last week you want to see a close game.
No, I
for
said that
Heinrich.
last week.
I know last week you did.
It's a little different.
And I
this week.
said you're crazy, and I still contend that you were crazy for that take, and it wasn't a close game, so I can't get mad at you because it wasn't close. And you think today should not be a close game.
No, and I don't think this is important. I just thought he needed to be in the fire, and he was in the fire, and it wasn't. There was chances, there were opportunities where he had to make plays in a game that wasn't decided. That's what I wanted to see, and he did that. So it's not as important to me this week, but that picture is sure important. I mean, I just ran into a fan out there, Dan from Dallas.
Dan.
And
Is it Denton? It was Dan in Dallas.
No, it's Dan.
We have a
Dallas.
Denton Dan that listens to us too.
No, this was Dan from Dallas.
Dan from
and
Dallas.
I asked him what do you think of the game? What are you looking for? And he goes, I just want to see what the quarterback situation looks like. So a lot of people, Jake, are walking over to the game today, and that's their main interest. Heinrich Haarberg is getting a big taste of what it means to be a Nebraska quarterback suddenly. I know he's thought about it because I've talked to him about it. I talked to him about it last summer, all that it entails being in that position. And he knows that everybody's watching now, so there's a fair amount of pressure. Why is it going on?
If you're looking in the video stream, your friend Paul is trying to get in. Come on, get a little closer. There we go. Yep. He has a shirt that says, "We almost always almost win." That's the Nebraska motto apparently for football.
He got on the show.
Yeah, he's right behind the
Beautiful.
screen. Yeah, the shirt says again, "We almost always almost win."
Well, that's
Close losses.
something to be
Nebraska
said.
football is what happens here.
I don't want to think about that.
Nebraska, last time I checked, was a 21-point favorite this morning or this afternoon against the Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, and a lot of that is Louisiana Tech doesn't play defense particularly well. They haven't this year anyway. They gave up 560 plus yards to North Texas. You can run on them. So it is a critical day for Anthony Grant, I think. I do think this is a big day for, like, if you're looking at critical players from Nebraska, Haarberg obviously would be number one. And I think Grant would be a clear number two. I mean, let's see it. Let's see what he's got. And I think it's a lot. We already know he's got quite a bit. And he should come out snorting today.
Snorting, just like you on the show once in a while. Can I give you
I don't think he'll be laughing.
Can I give you a big score update right now? It's early.
Please.
I mean, we're 15 minutes into action right now, but there is a significant score that is of interest to our show specifically. Now, I believe all three of us, you, me, and Bill Bush, former Husker defensive coordinator, said this week that the spread in Michigan Rutgers was way too high.
Yeah.
It was 26 points
Ridiculous.
as of yesterday.
Seemed ridiculous.
We're 3 minutes into the football game, and Rutgers is up 7-0 and has the ball still.
Hello.
So they score on the first drive on a 69-yard pass. Michigan goes 3 and out. Rutgers now has 3rd and 9 at their own 22. Again, that's early. 7-0
early.
Rutgers in the Big House.
All right. Thank you for that update.
You
That's
are
the only
welcome.
11 a.m. game in the Big Ten.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's it. A lot of 6:30 action today. The big games are at 6:30. Iowa, Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Those games are 6:30 kickoff.
Iowa, Penn State, 6:30. Ohio State, Notre Dame. You're right, 6:30 there as well. Minnesota, Northwestern. Another big game.
Big one.
Yeah. Gophers only 11-point favorites in that game. Only. Last night, Wisconsin put away Purdue 38-17 on the road. Tanner Mordecai ran the ball well and passed it well in that game for the Badgers. Their tally on the ground, for those curious, he had a 195 on the ground. I mean, it wasn't the most incredible effort, but they went going away 38-17. That was a rough one for Purdue.
Well, it was a rough one for Wisconsin, and that Ches Malusi went down too. And I don't know what the prognosis is. It seems serious to me, but that is an excellent road win. Obviously, kind of goes without saying for Wisconsin.
Absolutely. By the way, another game going on right now. Florida State at Clemson is early on. 0-0 still.
Boy, that's a big one. No, that's a big one.
You gonna do the war chant on Monday? If they win, you gonna do the press box?
If they win, I will do a very hearty.
You'll be in the press box by the time that game ends, and Nebraska's game will be about to begin. So you could potentially do a war chant from Memorial Stadium press box.
Yeah.
Scare the locals up there. Scare the locals.
It's a big game for FSU because I think they're one of. I was going through it with our co-host this morning. How many teams could win the national championship? Actually, if you really, really dug into it, you can come up with 10 right off the top of your head. 10.
It's wide open.
Florida State's one of them.
Florida State's there. Georgia has not looked incredible so far. They're undefeated. They have not looked unbeatable. Texas looked good against Bama. They look very average against Wyoming.
I don't think we had Texas in our 10.
They should be in your 10.
Yeah, they should. So make it 11.
Texas is a top 3 team right now in the country.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to name them all,
that to me makes the season more exciting when you have just so much doubt and so much that's not sure. Like I like week 3, week 4, we don't know who's going to win. It's not like, oh God, well, George is just play the season. George is going to win the title. They very well might, but it's not like, oh yeah, they're ungodly good right now. That's great.
No, you got Ohio State, you got Michigan, you got Penn State in the Big Ten, in the Pac-12. Well, let's put it this way: you can get 6 out of 2 conferences: Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State in the Big Ten, and Oregon, Washington, and USC out of the Pac-12. Well, there's 6 right there. You can get to 7 pretty easy with Georgia. You can get to 8 with LSU. You can get to 9 with Florida State, 10 with Texas, and then 10. I'll just keep it at 10. That's probably one I'm missing.
That's way more than usual for this time of year. You never get that many at this time. Nebraska again plays 2:30 against Louisiana Tech today. Huskers 21-point favorites. Heinrich Harburg, the starting quarterback for the Huskers. Anthony Grant back at the starting running back due to injuries and him playing better. The last game he played well. Is there another, the big storyline, of course, is Harburg and Grant. Is there a third big storyline that you can think of for this game?
Well, I just go. 1 is Harburg, 2 is Grant, 2B or 2A, however you want to say it, is Ives and Emmett Johnson. The backup running back matter it bears close scrutiny. And what I'm looking for is how those guys go into contact. How do they explode into contact? They're young guys, not that big. They're young and they're not that big. But are they willing participants in a between the tackles run game? All right. Are they ripping into contact? That's what I want to see, because those grown men at that position, Anthony Grant, and then the guys that are hurt, Gabe Irvin and Ramir Johnson, rip into contact. You never wondered at all about their willingness. I want to see some willingness. That's what right away I'll be looking for. And then on defense, how much can they hold? How much can they hold Louisiana Tech down? I mean, can they keep them under 12? This is a defense that has some momentum. Keep the momentum. Keep the momentum.
I pointed out on the show on Friday that Louisiana Tech, as at least Sterling told this on, he said, Hank Bachmeier, their quarterback, came out guns blazing at Boise State. He's not the same guy anymore.
He's not going to play.
He's not playing. Okay, because their broadcaster thought he might play as of this Thursday.
But Thamel's tweet about Harburg also said that Bachmeier's not playing.
I must have didn't read the second part.
Let me double check.
But still, Louisiana Tech is second in the country in plays of 40+ yards and third in plays of 50+ yards. They can be explosive.
They can.
So that's why, again, One thing I'm proud of these guys so far defensively is that you mentioned it on the show this week. We haven't had a complaint about tackling.
No, not much.
You're not talking about, it didn't wrap up. They tackle very well.
Yeah, a little bit of an issue. 6 missed tackles against Minnesota, that's a good number.
This is the first game.
Yeah, 14 missed tackles against CU, but I don't really I don't think of that as a bad tackling game for some reason. I don't know if some of that happened late. And then only 3 missed tackles last week. No, this is a very good. I mean, George Darlington, our friend George Darlington, a friend of the show, longtime friend of mine, longtime Nebraska defensive backs coach, coached on the defensive side for Nebraska for 30 years, from 1973 to 2002. He says this is an exceptionally good tackling team. Now, if George says that, it's not fake news. Okay, George lays it on the line. He's very blunt. Exceptional tackling team, he says. They get to the ball, they form tackle well, and they hit you. I mean, they do it all. So you think now they've only forced 3 turnovers. That's something you really watch today. They've only forced 3 in 3 games. Those got to start coming. This would be this seems like a good opportunity for a couple turnovers. Maybe get 2 or 3 today. All right. How about 3? That'd be a good number today. Right.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see that.
You got
they're going to come.
Believe you can do that. Yeah.
Those things come in batches.
Well, Nebraska has been very impressive with the sacks this year so far.
Yeah.
Which what we asked before the season, can they get pressure on the quarterback? And guess what? Yes, they have.
I totally misjudged that. I was really skeptical.
Well, I think everyone was skeptical, and that kudos to the defensive line, the young guys. Cam Lenhart's been great when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Nash Hutmacher's been great this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not a guy who can say, hey, he's been bad. They've all, even the guys rotating in, have been very solid. So kudos to Matt Rule and to
Tony White.
Yeah. And Terrence Knighton in that regard, defensive line coach for making that possible.
Yeah. That defensive staff, you got to tip your cap to the entire staff. You really do. And now again, every day, every Saturday, those proving ground. So you want to see it continue today. Hey Jake, you got to maintain some momentum. I mean, Michigan's coming to town. Michigan will be here a week. I mean, you got to keep the momentum going.
Well, and again, Michigan is down 7-0 to Rutgers. I'm not going to say they won't win that game going away, but we have said that there's not really a reason to be terrified of them. They are
not the way they're playing.
They are obviously going to be a contender for the national title, but they're not a team that blows you out. It might be late in the game. They can do that, but we've been saying Nebraska we expect Nebraska to be in the game at halftime against Michigan. Like, I don't expect to be 21-3 at halftime. I'd be stunned if it was that next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know Michigan's not moving the ball like they want
and
to.
Nebraska's defense, besides the second half against Colorado, has been really good through 3 games this year so far.
Yeah, Michigan's been disappointing offensively. Nebraska's been better than we expected defensively. So you'd think, that can be a ball game. That should be a ball game.
Should be a ball game.
Yeah. But first things first, Jake.
Yeah.
First things
win
first.
Today.
Yeah.
Get back to 2-2 and, get a 2-game win streak. What we said in the Frost era, it was like, did they ever have back-to-back wins?
I don't know.
It happened very infrequently where they won back-to-back. Like they never won 3 straight, I don't think, in the Frost era, which again, it'd be hard to win 3 straight with Michigan in your 3rd game of this stretch, but it's possible. Your final thought, your pick. Remind us again your pick for today's game. Nebraska, Louisiana Tech. What is your score for this ball game?
Well, I think I picked 34-13, something along those lines. Like most people are picking scores in that range, right? I think, Raph, he had it up in the 40s. And I was thinking last night.
I don't see that.
You don't see Nebraska getting the 40s. I could see it.
I love it.
I could see it. But I'll keep it conservative. Go 34-13. What's your score?
I said Nebraska 31-10.
See, everybody's pretty similar.
It's right on that spread. It's right on the spread of 21. So basically, it's a push if that's the case regarding the spread. That's why Vegas is smart. That's why Vegas is very smart. I have the 31-10 is my score, and I walk away from that very happy.
Well, it's one of those games. It's one of there's Farley, by the way.
T. Farley's in the house.
Yeah, it's one of those games
across the street.
It's one of those games where we say all the big games are happening elsewhere. Nebraska, Louisiana Tech's not a big game. It's a big game if Nebraska loses it. That's just unfortunately one of those deals.
Yep, that's right. That is it for us. We will pass it off to Jay Foreman and DP. We are live on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show live from our brand new studio at 1040 O Street, the northwest corner. Come get some milk coffee. We've got all sorts of goodies on the street to pass out also. We'll come back with more with J and TP next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, We would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals.
What up? We are back. A1 Automotive Pregame. Jay Foreman, DP. This segment is brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators, and much, much more, Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you get it. SunbeltRentals.com. DP.
Yes, sir.
A football rainy Saturday. And the news just broke about a couple hours ago that H2, Tim Tebow via Nebraska, Heinrich Harburg is going to get his second consecutive starts. What's your initial reaction to that? Even though we heard that Jeff Sims was healthy enough to practice and split reps?
Well, according to Matt Rule, Harburg gives him the best chance to win the game.
Is that what he said this morning?
Well, no, but that's been the common verbiage, right?
Right.
That we will go with whoever gives us the best chance to win the game.
Sure.
Ultimately, it's priority one, focus one. Everything else is secondary to that. So Harburg gives him the best opportunity to win,
right,
whether it's based on injury, whether it's based on condition, field condition. Wet ball, tend to leave the balls on the ground. You can deal with those things as well, right? Yeah. But that's how coaches process.
Yeah,
like,
man.
listen,
sometimes you can overthink
day.
It though, too.
Right.
I think, if you're projecting to say, okay, well, they won't come out and say it. Well, you look at Louisiana Tech, it's much less. It's much like Northern Illinois. I think Nebraska would have to literally try even harder than they have in the past to lose this game. So, if Jeff Sims isn't 100% healthy, or close to 100%, or where he can be effective, where you don't want to expose him to further injury or not, or put him out there where he's not 100% confident. Because if he's not 100% confident, then he's not going to be able to play up to his potential. So maybe some things that they saw in practice, or that Heinrich Harburg is continue to progress, and they feel like you have another week to let Jeff Sims heal, because ankle injuries are tricky. One thing it's one thing to do the rehab process when you're going through the drills and the rehab and feel good. Another thing is going out there in live action, via practice, simulated drills and stuff like that. So hey, look, Matt Rule has said that he's going to put his best foot forward. He understands the pressure and the magnitude. Every game counts, especially when I feel like for sure you gave away that first game. Minnesota didn't beat you. You beat yourself. And then, you could argue as much or as little as possible about the Colorado game, where, over the last a quarter and a third, it really got out of hand. Now, was that Nebraska's doing or Colorado doing? I would probably venture to say it was more Colorado doing, but there was a lot of Nebraska help there. So when you drop a game that you could have easily started your season off in a positive note, you cannot take any situation for granted. And so, I wouldn't necessarily call it overthinking. You got to make sure you're going to make the best and easiest decision, regardless of who you're playing the next week. So, but I also think that, listen, they, where if I'm Louisiana Tech, I come in, that actually makes me feel I'm more confident, because we can really go back in the games at 2:30, really study some tendencies from last week, see what he does and doesn't do well, and then go from there, knowing that Heinrich Harburg is going to get 75% of the snaps. Who knows if Jeff Sims is going to get in at any point in the game. So they probably feel a little bit more in an advantageous position, because they don't have to wait all the way till game time. Now you can have let's say emergency coaches meeting, but they have some quarterback issues themselves where they're starting a backup quarterback, a true freshman on the road, Memorial Stadium. That also can weigh into the decision what Nebraska does as well.
Well, I mean, we always would go through how many points we need to score and how many points we could give up, right? And one affects the other. So if I think that I can get 35 points against this team if I do these things, if some of those are risk involved, I can remove that and say, well, listen, if I guarantee 21, I'm going to win today because they're only going to score 3 points.
Right.
And so that matters. And again, freshman quarterback, backup quarterback on the road, right? Similar situation.
First start, never played much all year.
Memorial Stadium, Sea of Red, all those things. So it's all a part of the decision-making process. I don't know if you caught Tony White's YouTube video of him doing a film breakdown.
No.
Really good watch. And it confirms everything that I thought about Tony White.
Sure.
And that like you as a linebacker, you and Tony White are similar minds.
Right.
And
well, he's a former linebacker.
Right. Like so guys are going to have, like when you watch this, you're going to be like, yep. Makes more sense. So their plan of attack, them isolating matchups and figuring out to go into that detail of knowing who they had a Nash Hutmacher advantage against, who they had a Ty Robinson advantage against, being able to go into Northern Illinois' playbook and give the keys and tells.
For sure.
So they knew what was coming and then to call it out.
Yeah.
Gives me great hope that they walk in today thinking they can shut this thing down.
We're trying to shoot. We're trying to get a shutout. We're trying to be, continue on the roll. And then also, Michigan has a game today, but they're also know that they're coming down to Nebraska next week, second game with Jim Harbaugh, which will be next week. You want to put any type of first of all, you want them to be looking on tape, knowing that you're coming to Lincoln, and we're not taking any shorts, right?
Yeah.
We're not taking a backseat to anybody, and we're a defensive led team, and so you're an offensive led team. It's going to be good on good, and let's see where we're at. And so Tony White, I didn't have to watch the YouTube. I can see the way he coaches and the way that he was able to do things. I'm a big evaluator of some people and some, offense defenses on Saturday, because it tells me a lot. And what Tony White has done is been multiple personnel. He also evaluates every part of the game, because Mekhi Gabbert, made a splash on special teams. Well, he's like, what he just did was break down in the open field. So if he can do it on special teams, he can do it on defense. And then you saw him take off against Colorado, started last week, was very productive again. I think he appreciates guys that go out there and work hard and make a name for themselves, along with Matt Rules. That when we were back in the spring, I kept saying it. People thought I was crazy. I said, nobody's position is safe. What a lot of people don't understand, when you have a new coach, a new staff, and a whole new regime, they do not have any obligation to you. Now, how you get the obligation to you, or some loyalty per se, is what you do in your day-to-day, work habits, and how you're, accountable to yourself and your teammates. And so, Tony White has made a name for himself, obviously working his way up, knows the ins and outs of the 3-3-5. So he's faced running teams, passing teams, and done pretty well. He's played in it also. So he knows what a linebacker is going through, what it expects from his defensive line. But then more importantly, at his recent stop in Syracuse, he was able to adapt his scheme based on their personnel. See, that's a coach that's, I'm gonna run my scheme, but I'm gonna run my scheme based around who I have on the roster. I'm not gonna say, well, I can't do what I need to do because I need these players. What if you never get these players? Then you're walking around 4 or 5 years later with an excuse. Now, sure, would Tony White rather have, Christian Peter, Jason Peter, Grant Wistrom, and whoever else at the outside line? Sure, but that's not the way it is, and nobody's satisfied with their roster, because there's always a hole or somebody that needs to get better. But also, what he's telling you is he's not, his standard of coaching, his standard of execution is not going to weigh, and that comes out in the way they play. And so I'm going to be really interested to see if not if, but I'm expecting the defense to come out with the intensity of, we're going to dictate this game. Yeah. Where, you need to start also. It's one thing to play good against, teams that are kind of like tailor-made for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's only going to get harder, and it's only going to get tougher. And how you're going to deal with adversity, because you're going to start playing against teams that are going to be able to drive the ball against you. But can you answer the bell? This is a game I want to see some real swagger, not the front running swagger, right? The swagger of where I am going to bully you in a game of football. That means we are going to try to physically and mentally intimidate your quarterback. So he's thinking about this game a year or two from now.
Oh, this is a Tony White and this is a black shirt game.
As
much as the pregame talk will be about Harburg, this is the black shirt bully game. This is one where again you've got a freshman in the new big building. Look, be dominant, as you said. Like this is one where I want him confused.
Well, I want him out the game.
Sam Darnold seeing ghost type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I want him out the game.
Right? Like that's
Period.
the thing, right?
I want you to hit this dude hard, so hard every single time you can. I want him punished. Right. That's the mentality that they need to start to adapt. And that doesn't matter if you played in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Yeah.
You have got to start punishing your opponents. And it's not just, it's great. We're doing a really good job of tackling. We need 6, 7 guys to the ball. We play 30 guys on defense. 30. We're like Florida State in basketball, where Coach Hamilton, Leonard Hamilton down there, just plays 12 guys and they just wear you out. That's what we have to do. And then convert. Then on the other side of the ball, that's got to lead your special teams and then your offense. The other big thing, DP, with Heinrich Haarberg getting another start, Anthony Grant going from essentially third team to second team in a matter of a half a game, not even that.
Yeah.
It seemed like Ramir was out in the beginning of the game, and then Gabe got hurt late in the game, right? So now he's leapfrog back to where he probably feels he should be.
Yeah.
Now the biggest thing for me, and I've been saying it all week, is, and we said it at a post-game show last weekend, but I'm saying it right now because the game is about to kick off here in a few hours, is that offensive line, like the time is now. Okay, and I will say this. They have made improvements. They have done a better job of execution. But as a cohesive unit, at this point in the season, where everybody's at. Kind of where the rotation is based on where the play is. You get an addition with Teddy Prohaska slowly but surely working his way back in. The time is now. You guys have played way too much football together,
especially this group, right? Even Sans Ben Scott.
Yeah.
The other 4 and then the 2 immediate backups are familiar.
Yeah. So maybe not Latowski, but and Prohaska too. Yeah. But at they've been around, but not a lot of experience. But there's no more excuses, and it's not about executing and what you can't do. It's what you can do better and what you can do from a mental standpoint. You should not have that first half against Northern Illinois and not taking anything away from.
We call it doing less better.
Right.
Like I need for you to be the 4-star that you were. I don't need for you to be exceptional in dancing and you know what?
Yeah.
I need for you to be a bully. Just be a grown-up bully and have at it.
Well, look at it like this, right? So a lot of these guys played really early in their career, right? Where you think of Turner, he played immediately as a freshman. Bryce Benhart essentially started as a redshirt freshman. Ethan Piper was always been in the mix.
Yeah.
Nuri, when he came back, now granted he was at Colorado State before, but he immediately came right in the mix. But the excuse that you could say is that they were young, right? Well, there is no more excuse because now age-wise and being around-wise, you're playing against the same guys age-wise that you came out of high school with. So now it's mano-a-mano. It's 5-on-5.
Yeah.
The intent has to be there. And the intent isn't wiping somebody off the pile when he's not looking. I want to see you guys putting guys through the ground.
Oh, this is Pancake City.
Well,
like
but it's got to be. But a difference is got to be. I got to get you. I got to drive you, and I got to finish you. And it can't just be when we just are hyped coming out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It might be after Louisiana Tech might score, right?
Yeah.
So how you play can't be. It's not conditional. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It can't be. It can't be. The conditions can't be. Well, I'm going to do this because we're playing against so and so, or we have a 10-point lead, so I feel like I can, front run a little bit.
My coach has always called that playing to a standard, not a scoreboard.
Right. You might be down 10. I'm still going to punish you. I'm still going to punish you.
The job is the job.
Right.
On every play, the job is the job.
Yeah.
And then you get your assignment, you break the huddle, you get your assignment, and then you get to work. And then you get back in the huddle, get your next assignment.
Yeah, and if you get up and you accidentally step on his hand, man, you just got to keep it moving, man. I mean, the mentality has to be, you got to be tired of being the easy excuse, right? And this is as a team, right? Just think of it as, let's just take a team. If I'm a coach or if I'm a leader on this team, and I'm trying to, and I get it, Matt Rule is trying to breathe confidence in this group to get 2 wins in a row, and obviously kind of get them to really believe in themselves to where he doesn't have to nurse them, right? Yeah. But what really, I would just say, I would challenge you. When are we, not you guys, since I'm a coach or I'm a leader on the team, just say I came in the portal or whatever, when are we, because I can speak for myself, I'm tired of being that team. So when are we going to decide? That means player 1 through 120 or whatever he got on the roster.
Yeah.
When are we just going to say we are tired of this and we are going to go out and change it? Right. So I'd rather them say, you know what? They played a better team. It was a good football game. That team that you played against was better, and they just kicked your butt. Then I can go back to work and work on that. Yeah. But it's hard to work on things when you're punching yourself in the face and not giving us a chance to take a step forward.
Well, we have that sign. Stop beating yourself.
Right.
Like, just stop beating yourself, whether it's mentally where you get in your head and you can't play fast because you're thinking rather than playing.
Right.
Then the other side of it is, listen, stop doing things that we haven't coached you to do or taught you to do.
But you know what it comes down to, and I think this is where a lot of media people don't really think about it past the easy thought. A lot of it has to dealing with success. If you watch Nebraska over the years, a lot of their downturn comes at we take a lead in the game. We have a big play. We have a great series, right? We have a win. And then guess what? We just say, you know what? We just going to just diarrhea all over everything that we did. And then we go back. That's what it is. Yeah, it's very hard to come back after there's been a series of bad calls. The last time Michigan came here, those refs had it in their mind that said, we're going to jettison Khaki University up to the national title. I do understand that. But listen, we have just stopped them. Now we have a chance to win the game, and we decide to let the ball go when you know that they're going for a strip. That has nothing to do with any refs or Michigan. Right. Or we have a big stop, right? Or we're beating Iowa, and then all of a sudden in an emergency block, we decide to let the dude that actually plays for Denver now, a second-round pick, Riley Moss, who's one of the fastest guys in Iowa, to just go freelance right into the punter, changing the momentum. It's after success majority of the time, because you want to know why that is? Like Austin said, the standard starts to get lower, and you think you've already won. Well, you ain't won until those four zeros are actually zeros. If there's 1 second on the clock, there's a chance that you could lose. So you have to play all the way to the echo of the whistle, to the end of the game, play to play, even if you're successful.
Well, we would ask to individualize, to separate and compartmentalize your responsibility. Like every play, okay, Jay, this is what we're running. You got one job to do in this play. And then that's repeated for the number of sequences. But it's make the play, dry erase, get the mission, make the play, dry erase, make the play. Like it's that simple, and it gets complicated.
It's like the Men in Black where they erase your memory every play.
Yeah, like you get into the space, and I know that these players hear the voices in their head.
Right.
They tell us that on a regular basis.
Sure.
That sometimes I need to get out of my own head. Right.
But is that an easy excuse to double down on your behavior?
Yes, because greatness is your ability to process, and reprocess.
Right.
Like that's a different. That literally is how you can define Hall of Famers.
Right, and that's why that's why as a coach and a leader, I can't accept that, and we can't accept that.
Well,
I don't want to hear what
you are required.
We can't. I'm no, man. This is all. What happened in 2019? I wasn't even here. We weren't even here. You might have been at. You might be just getting ready to go to homecoming.
Yep.
So listen. 4 years ago, I'm not trying to hear that.
Right.
All I'm trying to hear are what we are supposed to do today, and play after play until the game's over, and we have to play to our standard and to our capabilities, right? And if we play to our standard and capabilities and we get beat, not that we're going to be okay with it, well, we got a lot to work with there, because now we can we can really hone in on what we need to fix the problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's an individual choice as well, because how can I fairly evaluate you as a player or a position group if you ain't gave me everything you got?
And
if I
to
haven't
know
demanded,
what that is.
right? If I've demanded everything that you got, whether I've said it or pushed you to it, I can't. I don't know what I have for you, but you better be giving it to me.
Well, that's leadership, but that's the leadership part that we keep asking questions about. And then you find out that in the messaging, Tony White now has figured out the correct verbiage, the right energy to get this group of young people to move as he needs them to move.
Right.
Then it needs to become a Satterfield thing and a Satterfield space where he gets the verbiage to make it clear to whoever's behind center and whoever's in the receiver group and whoever's in the lineman group and whoever the running backs are, use the same verbiage to get them to focus on the basic stuff that's required for them to have success in what they're asking them to do.
Let me ask you about this offense. You know, last year South Carolina took off, and that's where, you know, obviously Marcus Satterfield got a ton of rightfully so credit, where Spencer Rattler, after a slow start, I think it was about 3 games or 4 games, then the Tennessee game, they were a juggernaut from there on out, and they've you know, been on a roll. Do you think potentially that could be okay? Now he has enough game practice film. He's starting to get healthy up front. You're starting to get Fedoni every week. Fedoni's looking a little bit more confident in himself, and seems that, you know, he's starting to kind of get back into playing shape. You got Borkature. Do you project and see maybe that it could be an offense from here on out that could start to be legit and starting to score more points?
Well, I mean, the Big Ten Conference is not an offensive conference.
No, no, but
like that's the part that gets missed,
right? But it's not in the conference to where essentially in 2 games you score 2 touchdowns.
Right. The problem is to
the first 2 games.
To me, the problem is in communicating what's important. Like the first responsibility has to be like, tell me we're physical. Okay, that works. But if you're asking your quarterback to be physical, then you're not making ball security the priority 1.
Right.
If you're asking that you finish drives, that requires that each play is specific in how you finish it. Like, and that's the constant messaging. We need to put points on the board. Don't take the field. If we get the ball, it's to put points on the board. And you got to work to put points on the board. Like, this is not, you're not just out there accumulating stats from 2020. The scoreboard is up there.
Yeah, that's like, the only stat I care about.
Yeah, like, listen, if you're not scoring points, then you're not doing your job as an offense. Like, there are times when you need to game manage.
Sure.
But that's really a byproduct of you having intention and purpose to score points.
Right.
So if your play calling is keeping you out of the end zone, change the play call. If it's personnel, change the personnel. If it's the philosophy, change the philosophy. But Nebraska has to change itself, and Satterfield has to get this group to figure out, 1, who its best players are, 2, get the ball to them as often as possible in those situations, and then scoring points. Like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. And you can't score points if you don't know who your best player is or your best play.
And those guys, and those guys got to be willing to step up, though, too.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. And I always say this, that's the hardest part about coaching is
can you put the fan cam on there?
I mean, this dude right here, this is why people like Farley is loved it so much, that where he had a sign that he made himself not to listen to Sip and Jake. But you know, I think I mean, at this point, you know, the tidal wave and I'm gonna say cupcake time is over.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, and granted, Louisiana Tech should not even be. This game should be over at halftime. But ultimately, even if we have a lead at halftime, we are not in any position to say, okay, well, we did our job.
Yeah.
It really, to be honest with you, I would play the starters the whole game, even if we got a 30-point lead. And here's why: I have to start seeing you guys do stuff when you're in a position of authority or in a position that's an advantageous position, because if you can't do it when you're in an advantageous position, you definitely can't do it if you're in a disadvantage, because it's going to take, even for this team, it takes more mental strength to deal with success. And we've had little success, but it's kind of been smoke screened around here so much of the best 3-9 team of all time. Yes, stat wise, you're still 3-9. You know, the COVID year, if we had this, and this, blankety blank. No, dude, we ain't won enough games. We've lost a lot more games.
Right.
So I got to see you play winning football regardless. It's a faceless opponent. I mean, heck, I'd almost
You're
rather.
playing yourself. You're still playing yourself. You've always been playing yourself.
Zoink's
gonna be
Batman.
the deal. Yeah, this is why you need fan cam up. Austin, we need to split screen the rest of the day.
With that being said, we are right on time.
Yes, sir.
Jay Foreman, DP. We're going to pass it over to Rashawn, a.k.a. the captain, and Terrell Farley, a.k.a. the black shirt. I don't know how he calls himself the black shirt, but I'll give it to him. He's my alma linebacker teammate. We're going to turn it over to them. They're going to rock the mic, and we're going to head out.
We're going to throw some footballs, man.
Before I go bust Jake right upside his head, man. Jay Foreman, DP, A1 Automotive pregame show. We're out of here.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
What do Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods, and LeBron James have in common? They're all among the best athletes in their sports of all time. And they all do Pilates. Yep, Pilates is not just for women. It helps everyone to bring the muscles of the body into balance and help the mobility and strength in spine and joints. Pilates can help your golf game and anything else you do for fun. Do Pilates, do life. Check out Club Pilates in Lincoln today at 84th and Holdridge. Online at clubpilates.com/Lincoln or at 531-500-1456.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
For many Nebraskans, fall means cooler weather and longer days that include running kids around, cheering for your favorite teams, and long days at work. The hours on your feet can really add up and give unnecessary pain and discomfort. At Fleet Feet Lincoln, they help find the shoes and inserts you need with their Fit ID machine, which takes a 3D image of your feet. If you're having trouble finding the right fit, visit Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77 and Pioneers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine. with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow. What about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Sponsored by Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador.
Fancy Wednesday.
Douche, 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 douche. Yeah, it's the captain on the ticket. Is this thing on?
Why is it so quiet?
Is this thing on? Yeah, turn the music up a little bit. I like that.
don't know why this one's so quiet.
Doom, doom, doom. Game day. Doom, doom. It's game day. Doom, doom. Game day. Okay, it's game day. Listen, game day is the ticket 93.7. We are here on a gloomy Saturday afternoon, getting ready for Nebraska versus Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Yeah, get my camera up, man. Got my little neck piece on, looking like Merton Hanks. You like that, don't you, Jay? Look how Jay looking at me like VJ always got the style going all the time. 93.7.
Fix me.
Merton Hanks.
Fix me.
Yeah, you know what, Rico?
Can you
Somebody's going to get jacked
There
up.
is a delay on there. Everybody else has been sitting down. You guys decided to
We
stand
don't
down.
never sit down.
Why would we sit down? It's game day.
We're football players.
It's taking me
Why
a second.
would we sit
Jay
down?
was sitting down.
Hey, that's Jay.
Jay's retired.
Jay's retired.
You guys aren't retired?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Why would we ever retire?
Yeah.
How can we retire?
Come
Butcher?
on, Rico.
What's wrong with this dude? Get it together. Where's Bach?
Not here.
Where's
you're
Whipplebach?
gonna have to deal with me.
Dang, they're playing.
The plane, boss.
Catch it. Anyway, let's get to the meat. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. We got 23 minutes left, dude. We ain't got a lot of time. Okay, so this is Rashawn Jackson, the captain, and Terrell Farley, the what?
Black shirt.
Yes, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Company of BHHS Ambassador. Whether you're buying or selling a home, you need someone you trust. Contact Ben and the team at Professional Realty Company. Optimus Prime's on my mind. I'm sorry, y'all. At BHHS Ambassador today. Start the process at 402-419-6309. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
Thank you.
Why is Optimus Prime on your mind?
Thank you. Huh?
Why is Optimus Prime on your mind?
Autobots? Well, because it seems like I stay calmer when I go Optimus.
Okay.
It's not really
A lot of people like
That's just a
Optimus
guy
Prime.
that's Barry White.
No, it's Optimus.
Oh,
Prime.
you keep. Oh, you
No.
keep.
This is Optimus.
Autobot.
Is Heinrich Harburg
Listen,
going to go Optimus Prime?
I hope Heinrich Harburg gets the start.
He does. He is.
Goes. Heinrich Harburg got the start.
Yeah, that was announced earlier.
Somebody from in the upper room said, "You better give Harburg the start."
Pete Thamel tweeted it out this morning.
That's right.
Heinrich Harburg and Louisiana Tech's backups getting the start. No Hank Bachmeier
Yeah, well, that's bad for Louisiana
for the
Tech.
Bulldogs.
That's bad for Louisiana
It's
Tech.
good for Nebraska too.
Yeah, it's great
That
for
it is.
Because
Nebraska.
now you save Sims for Michigan. You
Yes.
make sure he's 100%.
Yes,
Because you don't lose your position by injury.
you keep saying that,
You
man.
don't.
Who said that?
You don't.
Who
That's
where's
a rule.
that in the? That's not
That's
a rule.
Because you know what?
That's
when
not a rule.
When Tommy Frazier
That's
got hurt,
not a rule.
Brooke came in.
That's
not
different.
a rule.
That wasn't different. It's football. It's
No,
nothing's
that's
different.
not a rule.
That's not a rule.
And Tommy had to fight for that position back in
It
'94.
wasn't a fight.
It was.
It wasn't
a fight.
a fight.
They both played in the bowl
All right.
game. Stop it.
Yeah.
We needed both of those guys.
Yeah. But
Now,
Tommy
Tommy ended up being the guy at the end of the game that we was the go-to. But don't act
No,
as
you
if
don't
Brooke
lose
Berger
your
wasn't
position.
a part.
You don't lose your position.
All right, let me give you a story real quick since you say that, because I don't believe you believe that.
Okay. I do.
So fall or going into the fall of 1996, two-a-day practices, camp, all that stuff. We're about to break camp, that week before you break camp. So we're about to break camp and go to regular. I was late as usual, and I didn't get my ankles taped. And I got a high ankle sprain. Coach Brown walks over to me. He didn't say, "Hey, how are you?" He walked over to me, raised my little jogging pants up, put his finger down my sock, and just snapped my sock back and said, "You didn't get taped."
You was a co.
I wasn't a co-captain. It's
You was a
96,
co-starter.
sir.
You was a co-starter.
Hold on a minute.
You was a co-starter.
Let me prereface this because you wasn't there. You don't know nothing about
96, I wasn't there.
96, beginning of the season. You didn't start the season, sir.
I still went to practice every day.
Sir,
You don't
I'm
miss
trying to
practice
give you
because
what
you're
happened to
suspended.
me, sir. Okay? Are you going to let me tell a story or not?
Let's talk about this game.
We are. As I'm talking about losing your position to injury. Now, I'm not saying that wasn't my fault, but here's what I'm telling you. I got hurt, and I went from second to fifth on the depth chart, Rico.
Yeah.
Now, I had to fight and claw my way back in.
Mhm.
Didn't take nothing but us losing to Arizona State, and I'm right back where I was before.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm not saying that he lost his position, but the guy that just did what he did last week deserves to go if he's not 100%.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what I'm saying.
And-
This is why he's a go. You
Man,
don't.
I've been saying that, though. It's a great thing.
You have to save Jeff Sims. You have to save him. You can't have him running out there 95%, 80% if he's not healthy.
Barbar.
But what if Sims is 100? But you know what? I don't want to talk about next week. We're talking about this week.
Yeah.
We're talking about today.
Yeah, let's talk about it today.
Barbarg.
Harbarg.
No, that's my boy. I call him Barbar.
I'm gonna tell you who's the key today.
Who?
This game rides on. This is Anthony Grant Day because first of all, Anthony Grant needs to be established as the main runner, and the main runner needs to get the ball 25 times for Nebraska to win. There's no way with play this year. This is not the 80s or 90s where Oklahoma and Nebraska quarterbacks leads the way. No, this is a running back league, and for Anthony Grant to be established, he needs to get the ball early and punish people like he do. He's the workhorse today. He's the workhorse. There's no doubt about it. he's the workhorse.
Yeah, well, Anthony Grant gets the opportunity to show Husker Nation, show the coaches, show, family what he can do, what he really truly can do. If given an opportunity to run the ball 20, 25 times a game, he should be well over 100 yards in this football game if he gets that ball 20 to 25 times a game. There's no way. Might even go over 200.
Well, you say show. He showed me last year. Not over 900 yards.
We're not here last year, sir.
Yeah,
last year's over.
I understand that, but was the starter
Last year's
year,
over.
Over 900 some yards rushing.
Last year's over.
Could have had 1,000 if he didn't start running to the outside trying to be a speed demon.
I agree with that.
Today is
It's
Anthony
over.
Grant Day. He needs to lead the way. Young receivers playing. Emmett, the other back, gets a shot. Got a freshman bowling ball running back. Like to see him late in the game.
Quentin Ives?
Quentin Ives. Like
Come
to
on,
see him.
dog.
Bowling ball.
Yeah, like
He's 6'3".
Yeah, what is he talking
but
about?
he's big though.
He's saying
He's
people,
like 6'3".
He's saying people are going to bounce off of him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Come on, Rico. You're a bowling ball in stature.
Usually when you say a bowling ball running back, I'm thinking under 6 foot. Like what was what they call him, the muscle hamster, the running back that was at Tampa Bay that was good for like
Michael Pittman.
a season. No, he was like good for like a season.
Mike All-Star?
No.
But maybe he would be considered like a bowling ball, just a short, stocky guy. That's what I consider
He's
a
not
bowling
short and
ball.
stocky, like Ball from Wisconsin.
Yeah, like Monty Ball.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
a
then,
bowling
and
ball.
then the running back that just retired from Alabama. What's his name?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
That's a bowling ball.
Yeah,
No, that's what I think.
He's
of.
not. Mark,
But I get.
I looked at Mark Ingram. He don't weigh enough to be a.
Are you
bowling
kidding me?
ball.
Mark
Yeah,
Ingram is only he's Rico size.
Yeah, he's 5'11",
and he's
5'10".
like
Yeah, but he's like 5'11", like
220.
220.
Yeah,
that's a
That's a bowling ball. That's heavier than you.
That's a good hit.
Little huggy.
Yeah, that's
I'll meet him in the hole. Though.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Now or later.
But
you saw what he did to somebody. He blew him out their pads.
Oh
He didn't even have no
did.
pads
No.
on. He
Oh,
blew
my
his
God.
life up.
Let me
Yeah,
tell
that
you
was a bad
something,
idea
man.
by that guy.
Yeah, don't do that against a guy that can play.
Yeah.
I always
But
say,
continue
if you
your
never
direction.
played football before, don't challenge a guy that's played professional football because there's techniques and leverages that he knows that he can get. He can look at the way you're lined up and destroy you.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with you and who you be trying to diss, but I'm a football player. I'm a black shirt. I'm a linebacker or whatever you want to call me. Not afraid to hit anybody. So take that. Take that and run with it.
You hearing me, Allen?
Yeah,
You used to roar.
So I'm sitting over
Now
here.
it's a that's what it
This
sounds
guy
like.
So you
right
guys,
here.
so you guys
Little
both said,
kitty cat.
you guys both said that the running back needs to carry the ball more. But in the first, and I know that's what you're saying, that's how you're going to win this game. In the first 3 games, quarterbacks gotten the lion's share of the carries. I understand that some of those have been undesigned quarterback rollouts, and nothing's there, so they take off. But how many carries does Heinrich Harburg have today? Designed, undesigned, whatever.
15.
He need less than Anthony Grant.
Yeah, as long as he's below Anthony Grant, I'm good with it.
Okay.
We don't need a quarterback.
If
lead the
he's
way.
got 21 and Anthony's got 15, that's a problem. Oh, I mean, unless they give it to you. I'm quite sure Louisiana Tech looked on film and said, we got to get the ball out of Harburg's hand because they don't necessarily know what Grant can do.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the opportunity.
They're going to find out.
But they're going to find out today.
Yeah, they're going to find out because that limit, whatever Anthony Grant is able to do, it limits the more chances that Harbaugh gets to run. So I'm saying around 10 carries, what Harbaugh needs. Anthony Grant needs 25. Harbaugh needs 10.
Nah, because you got 5 times when he should pull it down and probably take off.
Yeah, that's 10 times.
That's 5. And then 10, you got 5 reads and then 5 called runs. That'd be 15.
We should be able to blow him off the line where he just handed off.
Well, what?
We should be able to blow him off the line where he can just hand the ball off.
Who are you looking at as far as defender? Who's the guy? Who's the X factor today defensively?
I think one of the linebackers is going to have a breakout game.
Reimer?
Yeah, one of them. No, it
Doesn't matter who?
It doesn't matter who. It's 3 of them. So you take one of those 3, and because this is a short pass team. This is not a long bump team. This is a guys who bunch up a lot. There's a lot of crosses. There's a lot of outs. There's a lot of screens.
They bank on missed tackles.
They bank on missed tackles. So you got to take that number 42. What's his name again? The kid I like.
Oh, Smoke?
42.
He doesn't wear 42.
Barber. What his name?
The running back?
No,
Shelton?
for us, the linebacker.
Neighbor or
Makai Bear.
Makai Bear. I look for him to have a better game because he's starting. Cam Linhart doesn't need to play. Get him healthy. This is not a do or die game.
Did you guys see what happened to him the last game?
No. Yeah, when he got clipped in the back or something.
He was engaged with somebody, and the quarterback and the running back ran, and they got tackled into the side of his leg.
Sure.
And it buckled. I don't know if it buckled sideways or buckled, but his knee buckled.
See, you can't be standing around pals.
No, he wasn't. He was engaged.
engaged
with
with
and
a
he was trying
lineman.
to get
They ran up his
around,
leg.
and then
Gotcha.
dude tackled side. And
You sure? You listen. Do we have a break before we come back? Do we have
You
a
guys don't
break,
come
or we
back.
just
You
go
guys-
to 25 and
yeah,
it's over?
you guys go to 25. And you're done.
What?
Yep.
I'm gonna need you to get it together, Farley.
Do you guys want a quick score update? Because
Please.
Rutgers is at Michigan. Oh, okay. Well, Rutgers is at Michigan. Michigan just scored. Minute 41 left in the second quarter. It's 14-7 Michigan.
Ooh. Yeah, but they're going to explode on them in a second.
Florida State, number 4, Florida State's at Clemson, down 10-7.
Dang!
With 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
You took Clemson? Did you? You're going to lose. It's
Oklahoma up 10-3 on Cincinnati in the second quarter.
early. Took Oklahoma.
What else? Auburn is currently down 6-0 in the second quarter to Texas A&M.
I took Auburn.
I did too.
And Nebraska's opponent last week, Northern Illinois, is down 9-7 to Tulsa with 2:51 left in the second quarter.
Oh, that's not surprising. It's Tulsa. Wow. Really? Jeez.
You guys were talking about Louisiana Tech's defense. I got a couple stats here. Louisiana
Well,
Tech's defense.
They're not very good.
They allow 29 points a game.
Okay, perfect.
5.28 yards per play. And rushing wise, they've allowed 205 yards per game, 7 touchdowns, and almost 5 yards a rush.
Wow.
Cakewalk.
But
I'm still glazed over from getting the news that Harbaugh is going to start. I'm glad. I'm ecstatic for Husker Nation. I hope he goes out and does what he's supposed to do and really handles himself extremely well and controls and manages the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let the game come to you, put us in the right position, and then let's put a fullback, tailback, and let's get busy, man. Let's go old school Nebraska style and pound this team into the ground and then get out of there in the third quarter so Terrell Farley can go eat some bonbons and runs us.
Oh, I'll be at home eating bonbons.
Oh, and runs us.
yeah, get Baron Leibovitz in the game. He said he likes to hit people before the season started. I don't really
Is that
see him get in the game.
34?
Yeah, he's the transfer
was
from
in
Notre
there.
Dame. Yeah.
Him and Bonner play. They get some ticks.
I need to see that.
They don't
power
get
out.
any carries. I would like to see them get some carries. Coach CJ Barthel, get them some carries. Give your fullback a little taste of the dosage.
Give him some glory.
Yeah, just a pinch. And I think what's going to happen is, especially if it's Bonner, I haven't seen the other kid run, but Bonner, I guarantee you he's going to bump his head on the goalpost, and everybody's going to say, "Where's that been?"
Give my ISO.
We're in a fullback screen.
Give my ISO. I love to see the ISO.
Where's that been?
I love to see the ISO.
Yeah, they're going through waving. And stuff.
Everybody's just walking.
Terrell,
by.
you can wave at the people. Why do you have to be so mean? The people are waving at us. Look at Mark.
Hi, Mark.
The people are waving. You can wave back.
You're a hater.
No, you're not. You're a hater because you're not waving at the fans.
I don't have to wave at
Are you the
anybody.
type of guy that just went into the locker room after the game?
No, I signed autographs.
How many did you sign? Five's
Well,
not enough.
Well, to the little kids who had my jersey on, thank you very much.
Wow. Everybody's not able to get your jersey, sir. What about the kids that don't
Well,
have your jersey?
The people that get jersey.
Talking about a hater, Rico.
The non-hitters get kids.
Look at this
with-
guy.
Non-hitters. They get
Non-hitters?
Yeah, I'm not a hitter.
You're a tackler. But
Whatever.
what's that got to do with you making sure that you sign people's autographs?
I
sir?
signed autographs.
Whose autographs,
A
sir?
lot. A lot. I'm the last one to leave the locker room.
Mr. Tight End.
So why?
Mr. Tight End, Mr. Captain. We have a text from Nick and McCook.
Come on.
How many catches / touchdowns? I'm just going to go with catches. Will Fedoni have today?
Oh, no, we go catch his touchdown.
If you're running the ball as much as you want to,
no,
he should be able to leak out for something, right?
He should be able to get me down, stretch the middle of the field big time. I'm gonna go 5 catches. Fedoni might go over 100 yards in this game and 2 touchdowns.
Wow,
that's just a beautiful day for us.
That's a lot of play.
5 catches, right at 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wish you was playing today, don't you?
Yeah. The perfect stat game. Louisiana Tech without their starting quarterback. Think about that.
Yeah,
Like Nebraska, targets the tight ends just as much today as they did back
They
then.
will.
Well, you run Anthony.
They still don't do it.
You run the RPO and you run Anthony Grant enough that you catch him
The
on.
tight end's gonna be wide open.
You catch him in. Would you let look? Here's the thing. If you let Fedoni stay in and block about 5 times, and then you catch him with a play action pass or a naked bootleg, he's wide open.
Agree.
Because they're not gonna pay attention to him because there's so much invested in Anthony Grant or the quarterback running the ball. Now it leaks out for us. Touchdown.
I'd agree with that 100%.
I'm glad you listened to me.
Yeah, I do listen, but the problem is you don't.
Is Harburg another one of those? We saw him last week, kind of doing his thing, staying in the pocket, running when he needed to run. But if Louisiana Tech is breaking through the line, you getting them out, you're rolling them out like you want to do with Sims, like we talked about.
You bootleg them. You do everything you did last week. Nothing should change from what we did last week, except for we should get better. We shouldn't be giving up sacks. We should have learned from our mistakes. And this week, we should be a better football team than we were last week. That's how it rolls. So we should be seeing better play. And again, I keep telling you guys, let those big fellas up front eat. When they start getting after it, and listen, Louisiana Tech's defensive line is small. Did you get that stat?
I did not get that stat.
Small.
So was Colorado's.
Small. So we should have just smalled them out and just ran right through them. I think today, especially if it rains, today is going to be a day that we can just roll and see a Nebraska football team that we used to see back in the day. And I don't know what day that is. You can go all the way back from 2001 back.
Just keep going.
And for the most part, see a Nebraska football team that when they play a team that they're supposed to beat, they dominate them. And I just want to see dominant football, offense, defense, special teams, and let's get a couple turnovers as far as fumbles and pull the ball out.
That was going to be my next question to Mr. Blackshirt over there. How many turnovers would you like to see? I mean, they're still negative on the season. If they could take care of the ball on the offensive side and not turn the ball over, are you looking for multiple interceptions or some forced fumbles?
Well, I do care about turnovers, but my main point today is special teams. I want to see somebody take one back to the house. I want to see a punt. I want to see a kick return. I want to see the defense fly around like they usually fly around. And this is the type of game that the defense, this is a quick throwing team. So whoever can get in that passing lane real quick, I believe somebody's going to take it back to the house today.
On a punt or a kick return?
Kick return and interception.
I say you got Billy Kemp's back for punts, and Johnson and to be determined is what the depth chart said to be back there for kick returns, because it was
Barron.
It was Johnson.
Barry Miles Jr.
Yeah, I love to see.
He's dressed out this week?
Yeah, of course. He better be dressed out this week. I mean, get a kid an opportunity. You need to find some kids. You got to find some young men that can play, that you can invest in the future in. Don't throw them in the game.
You've got some freshmen that have some speed to burn.
You better on offense. Throw them in the game. And I'm not saying now. At some point when you get to 4 games, bro, you might, if they're not going to really help you, and you can maybe use a guy that's not a true freshman and redshirt them and secure that 4 years, I think you do that. I think you do it. Yeah. Read it, text line.
We've got, I know you saw this one from Ben.
Uh-oh.
Who wins in a wrestling match between the captain and the black shirt?
Me.
That's a lie.
Rey Mysterio.
That's Rico. Rico, you answer the question.
You're both feisty. You're bigger. Well, I don't know. You
seen knocker ball, didn't you?
I did. Well, that's wrestling. This isn't knocker ball.
Bruh, there's no difference. I'm going to out-aggressive him. I'm going to out-aggressive him. I'm going to get lower than him, and I'm going to dominate him.
He seems squirrely.
He's squirrely.
As the great,
he's squirrely now.
As the great,
but he can't get. We wrestling, so I don't care about that. You can just keep jumping around squirrely all you want to.
As the great Kabuki used to do, blow smoke in his face and damage him. That's what I plan on doing.
Watch you.
I'm gonna
now you're in trouble.
Just say you're a cheater.
I'm a cheater.
You said it's right. Now you can do
wrestling.
You
cheaters.
can.
We never
We
said
didn't
that
say
it wasn't
pro wrestling. We said wrestling.
We never said
wrestling.
it wasn't street rules.
Hey, bro. Well, if that's the case, there's a lot of chairs and stuff in here.
Oh yeah.
We can have a.
Don't throw the chairs.
We can have a with the studio wrestling.
We'll just
match.
We'll ask Nebraska. We'll ask
see if DP go for that.
We'll ask Coach Manning. We'll bring a mat. We'll put it right out front.
He's losing. Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's not happening.
We'll see what happens.
If we're running a 40 or a 10, you beat me. See, I'm humble enough to say he'll beat me in that.
All right, gentlemen.
But boxing, basketball, baseball,
not football,
hitting,
not
football.
You're not even on my level.
Soccer,
you're not on my level.
Foosball,
that's football.
Ping pong,
you're not on my level.
Foosball, dodgeball, volleyball,
you're
any
not
of the balls.
You're not even on my level.
He loses.
Wow.
The best thing he can do is run fast.
Wow.
And we saw against you, Rico.
I still got some speed to burn.
Yeah, he ain't even that fast.
All right, gentlemen.
Beat your 40 times.
We got like a minute.
400.
We got like a minute.
Who you taking?
Final thoughts. Who you taking?
Nebraska, 49-10.
Okay.
I always tell you I'm not giving my what I think the score is going to be. I think if we come out and we dominate this football team, it should be a old school ass kicking. And I mean an old school one. 60 to you know what? It should be a bloodbath.
All right.
Should be a bloodbath.
That's going to do it for this section of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. That was the captain. That was the black shirt. This section.
Give us some music before you go.
Hold on. I got to
give us some music, Rico. You ain't in control.
I am in control.
Give us some black shirt. Let's get him. No. You ain't in control?
I am in control.
Come on.
Here we go.
Let's
go with here we go.
Ready.
This section of the A1 Ticket Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show brought to you by Ben Blackrock Professional Realty Group, a BHHS ambassador. Whether you're buying or selling a home, you need someone you trust. Contact Ben and the team of Professional Realty Group at BHHS Ambassador today to start the process at 402-419-6309.
Big Blacker, go big. Hey, there goes Coach Brown. Look at Coach Brown.
There you go.
We got to get him again.
Let's
boy.
go get him, VJ.
Coach Brown in the building.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. found in most local grocery stores.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Select Plumbing.
We're back here, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Eric Strickland joining you now for this segment up until about the 1 o'clock hour or so, as we are 2 hours away from kicking things off between Nebraska and the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. This segment sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. Once again, Nick Sainert, Eric Strickland joining you down here at 1040 O Street, our brand new studio. Stricky, man, first of all, what's up?
Good.
And then second of all, this place is popping.
There's nothing better. Listen, we had good times down at Tipsy Tina's.
Absolutely.
That was pretty cool. That was fun and all that. But there's nothing like being in your spot. Just people walking by, waving. It's really cool, and it's good to have our own location. I mean, we're in proximity to the Haymarket, proximity to the stadium. So there's a lot of action that goes on right here, and it's just fun to see the people and get a chance to interact.
You got to walk by our place to get to the stadium from wherever you're coming from. So this is a really exciting time for us, as this is really we're outside, or that we got a table set up outside giving away some swag. So make sure you come on by. I was chucking footballs across. What is this? It would be
O Street.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't chuck them across
11.
O Street. I chucked them across 11th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Jay was chucking them at those pedal pubs or whatever they're called, where you're drinking down the road.
Oh yeah.
He was chucking them in there. Group therapy bike. Yes, exactly. I mean, we were throwing them all over the place, and plenty of T-shirts being handed out and stuff. So a lot of good friends of not only our hosts, but also of the station just coming on by and saying what's up. It's going to be a good time here today.
I think what's also beautiful is that there's actually people that live here.
Absolutely.
So we're not only just the ticket, we're also part of the neighborhood. We're also part of the fabric of the neighborhood that are here. And so we get to interact with people that live here. They come down to the mill. They get a chance to chop it up with us too. So it's pretty cool.
And that's the thing, is not a whole lot better of a partner than the Mill Coffee. I mean, come on down here, 11th and O, grab yourself a cup of Joe or whatever you would like. I already have had two things from the Mill this morning. I had just a simple iced coffee with a little bit of cream in there, but then I had the Granita, and the Granita, man,
you keep telling me to get up
knock
on that.
Your socks off, and it's unbelievable.
I might have to try that on Monday.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's talk Huskers and Bulldogs, because Nebraska, I believe a 21-point favorite. Heinrich Harburg, according to Pete Thamel of ESPN, is starting over Jeff Sims today. I guess the game plan,
said that.
And I think that's probably
it's wise.
The smart decision if Jeff Sims is not fully healthy.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, the game plan doesn't change with who's lined up at quarterback.
No.
You got to be able to run the ball today against a team in Louisiana Tech who's ranked, I think, 128th in the nation in rushing defense, allowing over 205 yards per game on the ground. This is a game where Nebraska and their young running backs can really start to kind of take hold, and a guy like Emmett Johnson specifically and Anthony Grant to an extent can say, hey, Gabe Ervin, Ramir Johnson, we feel for you because your season's over, but now this is my running back room.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would have to say it makes most sense for this situation to happen this way at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
The reason being is it gives you a little bit more leeway to allow Sims to not only recover, but also to get him some reps, right?
Yeah.
Without the pressure of that or the risk of putting him out there and straining it from the beginning to allow him to warm up, to be able to see how things are going, see what the defense is looking like, talk on the headset a little bit. But yeah, man, at the running back room, it's going to allow them, they're going to get plenty of opportunities to be able to get touches, to be able to feel pad-to-pad action. Yeah. And it's all going to be preparation. For me, Nick, it's the build-up, right? It's handling business, tidying up things, closing up gaps, making things to be tight in preparation of what's going to come in here on next week.
Well, and I think that's a dangerous game to play as well if you're Nebraska, because although Nebraska should win today's game by multiple possessions,
you can't overlook it.
This one should be essentially feel from a fan's perspective over by the end of the third quarter, right? If Nebraska wants to truly take care of business, which I think Nebraska fans are still hesitant to believe that at the end of the third quarter. But last week it somewhat was like they did their job for the most part last week against Northern Illinois. Now, there's certainly things that you can clean up and that you can do better. Don't give up maybe a garbage time touchdown, like little things like that. But Nebraska cannot overlook Louisiana Tech simply from just they don't have, number one, the margin for error to do so.
No.
And number two, they're not good enough of a football team right now to do so. They got to just take it game by game at this point. And then on Monday or even on Sunday when they get into the building after today's game, whatever happens today, they got to focus on Michigan tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't want it to be misunderstood as I'm saying in a look over. I'm talking on like this season has got to be about building blocks.
Exactly.
Each game, each week, each practice, each hour, each study session has to be about how can we improve and close up the gaps, take care of the issues, become more accountable, take care of business in my area and specifically collectively as a unit, but also individually as a person, and build towards success. Look, even if you come up short on next week, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying even if you did, you still want to see the build from today and then different improvements and going into another week to week basis.
Well, and I think that's why maybe today is so important for a lot of guys, because for a guy like Heinrich Harburg, and we can kind of just go piece by piece here, for a guy like Heinrich Harburg, remember what we said at the start of last week's game against Northern Illinois was that, all right, Jeff Sims isn't probably going to lose the starting quarterback job because of injury. And that's probably right, that he doesn't just because he's injured for a few weeks, he automatically loses the job and Heinrich Harburg's going to step in.
So Tommy Frazier said that too.
Heinrich Harburg, he wasn't going to win the job with a win against Northern Illinois, and he's not going to win a job against Louisiana Tech. But once again, the same idea can be held where you can at least continue that conversation. Last week's win for Heinrich Harburg allowed there to be a conversation started of, does Nebraska need to look elsewhere at quarterback? Now he can compound a serviceable and manageable performance last week with another one today and win another game in the fashion that Nebraska is supposed to win it in, and in a performance that Heinrich Harburg's supposed to compete like. And so with all that in mind, Heinrich Harburg's not going to win the starting job with a win today, but he's going to add another layer to that conversation to say, hey, I have 2 wins over my belt. And in those 2 wins, I have 0 interceptions. I have 1 fumble that technically wasn't my fault coming from the blind side or coming from the right side of that line and completely whiffed on the block from the right tackle. That's what I have to stand on. And oh, by the way, 2 wins.
And, good throws.
Yes.
Just not making any mistakes.
Playing quarterback.
Just playing, yes.
And
normal
so,
the way the position is supposed to be played.
And so then going into a Michigan, then the conversation gets real interesting because then is Jeff Sims 100% healthy? And if he is, do you still go Jeff Sims? I don't know. That's an open-ended question that none of us outside of that building can answer.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And I still think it has to take the progression that it's taking, meaning I think each week you want to see what he's able to do what he's able to bring to the table.
Yeah.
Has there been growth? Is the turnover situations managed? And then I still would say if Harburg handles business on this week, I don't think you go into next week and just try to throw.
Yeah.
You do not want to throw somebody into that pressure cooker that's going to be next week when Michigan comes in. I think you allow him to still get the touches, and if he's rolling, roll.
Yeah.
But that's the way I think it should go.
I completely agree with you. Once again, Nick Sainert, Eric Strickland hanging out with you guys. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. This segment sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. Nick Sainert and Eric Strickland hanging out with you guys. We got about 10 minutes left here in this segment. You guys can chime in on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. If you're on your way to Memorial Stadium, make sure you stop on by. We'll have this pregame show going up until kickoff at 2:30. So come on by 11th and O and come say hi, grab some ticket swag and a cup of coffee from the Mill Coffee while you're down here. Stricky, from the running back standpoint and looking specifically at a guy like Anthony Grant, because there has been so much discussion around AG and what he did last year, rushing for over 900 yards, had the first, I believe, 4 games of the year, had over 100 yards rushing, did not have fumble issues in 2022. Here in 2023, we all know the story. Has a little bit of fumbling issues. Gabe Irvin's fully healthy at the start of the year. He takes that job at the starting running back room. Anthony Grant, it was never officially talked about, didn't make the trip to Colorado. Anthony Grant didn't. But then here in last week's game against Northern Illinois, starts to come onto the scene. If you're Anthony Grant in this situation, this is another opportunity for you to gain the trust of the coaches now that you are the top dog once again in that room, but also gain confidence in yourself because this has been such a roller coaster of a season up until this point.
Potentially what we don't know is we still don't know what the rain situation.
That's
it
right.
looks like it's passing on. It's still going to be some wet turf. So his one cut abilities are going to be tested. I still want to see him hit holes, make one cut, and get upfield.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him trying to bounce, which he did at some points last year. I think there was a lot of frustration as far as holes closing very quickly. Mm-hmm. But he needs to get up in there, make one cut, be physical, make guys miss, really get holes on balls. We just don't know what the turf's going to be like as far as wetness and so forth and so on balls and stuff like that. So this is an opportunity. As you said, it's an opportunity for him to show and prove and to also gain the trust or regain the trust of what the running back coaches as well as, Matt Rule and the staff are looking for.
Yeah, I think especially in today's game, I mean, Nebraska is going to be tested next Saturday, right? But at this point, as we alluded to at the start of this segment, you can't look towards Michigan next Saturday. You got to look at the opponent today. And Louisiana Tech, a team that fell to North Texas at home last week. They're not going to have their starting quarterback, Bachmeier, I believe is the name, a transfer from Boise State. They're not going to have him today either, according to Pete Thamel. But here you're sitting, Nebraska's going to, they should be able to run downhill. This is the prototypical game for Matt Rule, to where your offensive line, one thing I really want to see from this offensive line, and Jay and I talked about this on the postgame show last Saturday, there wasn't a whole lot of urgency or push up front from the offensive line. Nebraska was able to run the ball effectively most of the time. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of urgency from the offensive line. There were many times where the running back was doing a lot, but the offensive line would only get about 1 yard of push. And against the Louisiana Tech, that better be closer to the 3, 4, 5 mark, because make it as easy as possible on your running backs here and have a little bit of urgency and aggressiveness from your offensive line today.
Yeah, I would have to agree, because one of the things that we are seeing is, well, let's shift it. Let's go to the defensive side of things. They are getting that push. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to consistently see. But that's what we talked about preseason. We talked about before the season even jumped off, what I was seeing in the spring. And what you heard from Matt Rule. You definitely heard that Matt Rule was saying that the defense was ahead of the offense. You continually heard that message. But what I want to see is, as you said, that fire, that passion, that desire to dominate, not just win, to dominate.
It's the domination from the start to the end.
Yeah.
Because Nebraska's going to make substitutions on that offensive line. Teddy Prohaska's going to get snaps. We got asked by Walt Donnelly on the stream, is Teddy P going to get more snaps today? Yeah, like I would assume so, because the longer that the season goes on and as it progresses, the healthier that Teddy Prohaska is going to be. Now, once again, from a Matt Rule standpoint, it's the perfect type of conditions, I suppose, and perfect setup. You're facing a defense that is giving up 205.5 yards per game this year in 2023. Now, through a smaller sample size, Louisiana Tech did play a week 0 game. So this is actually game 5 for them. But nonetheless, I mean, you're sitting here, if you're Nebraska and you're Matt Rule, saying we have a quarterback that, although won last week, is still relatively inexperienced. Maybe we don't have them playmakers on the perimeter to throw the ball. Maybe the conditions of the weather in the field aren't suited to throw the ball. This is everything you could have wanted. This is a perfect, dare I say, warm up to Big Ten football.
That's what I was going to say. Call it a warm up, call it preparation, call it,
ease in.
Yeah. It's everything you need to put on tape. Real, because it's tough to duplicate in practice. Let's be honest.
Well, and you can't duplicate it in the start in the middle of October when you're playing Big Ten West opponents. You can't do it. And so, like, there's still obviously going to be room for growth after today's game. But if, number one, you can look at this game as somewhat of a confidence booster, I suppose, especially for that offensive line. They're going to get hit in the mouth harder than probably they have all season long combined next week against Michigan. We know how physical Michigan can be up front. The defense is going to have the biggest test next week against the Wolverines and their balanced offense with J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. We know what's coming down the road in less than 8 days. But with that being said, if you can put quality film on the field today, then you're going to get in film practice and say, man, look at how I dominated that man across the line from me. Look how well AG beat this dude to the edge. Like, those little confidence and mood boosters are going to pay dividends rather than you get to film tomorrow and it's, all right, offensive line, we need more out of you.
Yeah.
Defensive line, you're not getting pushed. You're not getting to the quarterback. You got to figure out a way to dominate from start to finish today. On both sides. Even the defense, which has been clearly the better side of the ball.
Yeah. No lack.
You still got to. This needs to be
no slack.
This needs to be a game that Nebraska's up 30-something or even 40-something to less than 10 points in the start of the fourth quarter.
I like that the spread is challenging them. 21 points. It is challenging them to basically have to do what you just said.
Yeah.
Right. Not that they're doing it for that purpose, but basically everybody believes. That Louisiana Tech is not who Louisiana Tech used to be. And that they're giving you credence to say you should win by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so if you come up short, it's like a benchmark.
It is.
That you can weigh, whether or not you did what you said, dominate, take care of things, handle business, not giving up any late game
just
touchdowns.
Garbage time touchdowns.
Just freaking play the full game out.
Yeah.
No matter what. No lacking, no slacking.
Well, and I think, once again, just a big opportunity. And one thing I will say from play calling standpoint, I mean, we've seen it multiple times here this year where Nebraska's ran the ball 8 of their first 9 plays, got into midfield, and they'll pass it 3 times and has to punt. We saw it last week against Northern Illinois as well. This is a game where you don't get cute with it. You don't try to do too much. Keep it as simple as possible. Try to stay out and get out of today's game as healthy as possible, please, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and just try to take care of business. Just do what you're expected to do. And I think Nebraska fans will somewhat be relieved, because Nebraska fans walked away from last week's game going, holy cow, Nebraska did exactly what we expected them to do and what they should do. And it was like, this is kind of a calming feeling. And if you can put that onto back-to-back weeks, and as the staff says, and as the old, cliche of coaches say, keep stacking days and keep stacking games, well, then by November, maybe Nebraska's in a spot to contend for something, which is uncharted waters compared to years past.
What happens today, Nick, that would have you in that mode that we've seen before, that hands over the face, hands up on top of your head, maybe pulling and grabbing some hair if you still have some? or just that look into the sky like, when is it going to happen? What happens today to have the Husker fans have that type of reminder?
As weird as it is, even if this is a 1 or 2 possession game at half, I think this is a game where Husker fans, you can't panic. Don't panic. Because if Nebraska's doing what we are saying on offense, this very well might be a game where Nebraska's up 17-7 at half or 17-3. And it's like Nebraska should be up more. This is also one of those games where maybe Nebraska, it feels like it feels like a wider margin than that the scoreboard shows, because Nebraska's just running and grounding and pounding this defense to where the clock's running nonstop. They're getting first down after first down, sustaining drives. That could be the situation. So I warn Husker fans, if this is a 1 or 2 possession game at halftime, don't panic, because technically, depending on how it looks, right?
Yeah.
If Heinrich has 2 picks and Nebraska has 2 fumbles and they're already losing the turnover battle, then maybe cause for some concern. I think if it's the third quarter and Nebraska's not winning by more than 2 possessions at the end of the third quarter, there's this, oh no, they're on a longer road to recovery than maybe we expected.
There you go.
So once again, this segment sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. I'm going to get out of here. I got to head down to Memorial Stadium and watch some pregame action. Stricky, let's hear a prediction for today's game.
I still say that Louisiana Tech covers.
Okay. Louisiana Tech covers, Nebraska wins. Nebraska wins, correct?
Nebraska wins.
Nebraska wins. Louisiana Tech covers. Once again, that's the Husker Hall of Famer Eric Strickland. I'm Nick Stainer. Coming up next, it's Raph and somebody else, as AD is not here today.
Not here, on the road.
AD is out of town this morning, or now afternoon, I should say. So somebody will come in, hang out with Chris Raff, upcoming next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Strick and I are out. We'll talk to you later today after what we hope to be a Huskers win right here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. We're hanging out here, 1040 O Street. Come say hello and get some swag, as well as a coffee from the mill here today. We'll talk to you later. We'll be right back on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year, the student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design, too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with the campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals, too, from Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app. It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
IT projects piling up again? Managing IT can definitely be frustrating. Whether you have an in-house IT department or you manage it yourself, let Hamilton be your experts. At Hamilton, we take the frustration out of your business tech issues with managed IT solutions. We specialize in co-managed and fully managed IT. Does your business need better managed IT? Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Jimmy John's.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is the drive, and then drive. Whoa.
Wait a minute.
My headphones are like very echoey. Okay, sorry, this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. I was thinking about the drive going out.
Yeah, because I am not AD.
I apologize. Well, you're Stricky, the Hall of Famer.
AD's on a plane today, so I had to jump in and hang out with my guy, Chris Raff. I have no problem doing that.
Nothing but the best, Mr. Strickster.
Appreciate you, my friend.
All right, well, let's get this out of the way first. We've got 2 pairs of tickets to give away. So what I'm thinking is, all you have to do is, we got them transferable via, what do they call that? Not paper tickets.
Yeah, you could do it by way of your phone. You can put it into your wallet. They could be transferred to you via email or even by text, just depending on the way that you would like to have them. And that's for the game today.
And US Bank, they gave 2 pairs to us. So what I'm thinking is, the first 2 people to text in with, all we need is your name, phone number, and email address. The first 2 people to text in, you each get a set of tickets for today's game. I think it's that easy, right?
That's
there.
if you're going now. Like if you're not planning to go, then don't do it. But if you're planning to go,
You still
then
got
tap in.
2.5 hours, or nope, 1.5 hours. You got time. 2:30 game. Oh yeah, easy. All right, there we go. We got one winner right now. 0901, and we got another winner. 5894. Okay, we got it. So that was quick and easy. Or yes. Yep. So we got
You're good.
Yep,
Chilling.
we got it. Let me we got a pin here. I can write that down real quick.
I can find one for you real quick.
All right. We got Austin there running the 1s and 2s. All right, we got a big game today. So yeah.
I think it's big from the standpoint of continued growth, right? You have a team that's still trying to find itself. They're trying to understand who they are. They're trying to learn each other by way of different systems. Not that they're trying to learn each other. Like, you know that the line has been there together, but I'm saying by way of what, Coach Satterwhite wants, as well as Coach White, and Rule. So who are they trying to become? You're starting to see that identity take shape and take form on the defensive side. We're still yet to understand. We know what we want to see and what we expect to see out of them, but we still have yet to see it. And we're hoping to kind of get an idea, hopefully today, of those building blocks as they prepare for Michigan next week.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier this week, yes, Harburg, he played well last week, but you still got to look at, it's only been 1 game, so you get another game of experience for him under center. I think that's a really good thing. Then we have missing 2 running backs. So right now we're looking at, you got Anthony Grant, who he's been there, he's done that. So you look for him to tote the rock a ton today. But then you've also got Emmett Johnson,
young talent,
and Quentin Ives, that you definitely want to get them some carries, because I don't foresee, Anthony Grant, being the only back in the game for the entire Michigan game. So the more experience you can get them today. So it's very advantageous for Nebraska to play some good football today.
Well, that's one of the things I was saying as well. My partner, Austin Norman's in the booth with us. One of the things I said we were talking about quarterbacks. What do we expect to see? Who do we think is going to start, so forth and so on. And I thought it was going to be Harburg. I said Harburg will probably start and probably finish this game depending on how things go. I think you will see Jeff Sims. I think the staff truly in their heart believes that Jeff Sims gives them the best chance to win if they continue to progress towards the Michigan game. And so you want to be safe about it, because you're dealing with an injury. You don't want to just thrust him back into it. Although we've heard from former players, Tommy Frazier, others have spoken about the system of Nebraska. You don't lose the position. We're not saying the position is lost, but you want to be able to test it. You want to be able to see how he operates with the injury. How far, how fast, what can he do, what can't he do? I think you want to see him for a quarter. You want to see him for a few series just to give him that test. You still want to test him with throwing. You want to test him with running. And then you want to let him kind of go and relax himself, hopefully, if the game is going the way you hope it is.
So here's the question for you then. If Sims does play today and Harburg, they both play. Say Harburg plays 2.5 quarters, plays solid football, and they bring Sims in for, say, maybe a possession or two, just to, like you said, get him back into the feel of things. Going into Michigan, is Harburg your starter then?
I would think so.
You'd go with Harburg.
I still think you do that. You don't. Let's all of you, I'm sure, listening, have played the game of Jenga, right?
Yep.
The game of Jenga is to build blocks. This is what Nebraska's trying to do. They're building blocks. They're putting things in place. Some of them you have to shift. You have to move around, but you have to take out, but you still got to build it. I think that's the process of what they're trying to do. They still want the comfort of the build. They'll test out and see how Harburg goes. If Harburg is rolling, why would you want to unearth that and thrust Jeff Sims into that high pressure cooker that's going to be that game, the magnitude of that game, the pressure in that game? You still want to give him the series. You do the same thing you did. Test him out. Make sure things are in order. See how his arm is able to hit a couple types of passes, maybe off the play action, maybe off of RPO,
maybe even a deep try, just to give him a couple of looks to see what he's seeing, see what he's reading. But then you still want to test that ankle without risking it being injured.
Yeah, no,
it's an ankle, right?
It's an ankle. Yeah, that's what I was feeling too. I was like, you don't want to put, like, say Harburg plays a solid game today, and say Sims, like, my thought was, if Harburg started, I didn't think that Sims would play today, but now they're saying that he's able to play, so maybe a position or two. But I just think if you go 2 games and you've got Harburg, you're kind of setting Jeff Sims up, because I think next week, if they walk him out as the starter after, Harburg has 2, consecutive good games, which you're hoping for, 2 solid games, you bring Sims out there, I think you're kind of almost setting him up a little bit for failure, because anything that he does that's not positive, the crowd's going. I mean, I tell the crowd all the time, do not boo, do not boo, do not boo. But there's fans out there, they do boo, and it happens. So I look at that too. Like, so I see where if Harburg plays good today, you start Harburg next week. If he goes through a rough patch or something happens, then boom, you bring Sims in. Then Sims comes in back as like that conquering hero, maybe. So I think there's a way that the coaching staff can handle it and be successful. And then Louisiana Tech, I've been watching some of their games and trying to get a feel for their offense. It's interesting because their head coach, Sonny Cumbie, played for Texas Tech, air raid, throw the ball over the field. So my thought process was, okay, they're going to throw the ball all over the field. But after their first game of the year, they've kind of turned into like a running team. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sonny Cumbie looks at attacking the Nebraska defense today. If he's going to try to run, because that our defense has been
pretty stout,
super stout against the run. So
not having your quarterback there that's always difficult. And so when you have that situation, the best way to do or to challenge any team is you got to establish the run. Because if you're just going to line up and you have guys, especially how Nebraska's been getting sacks, I mean, what they're averaging about 3 a game now, especially how they're putting pressure on on offenses, you don't want to just allow them to pin their ears back and just get to jumping off the ball. And Gunnarsson and those guys are back now. So hopefully Linhart gets back full strength soon. But Hutchmacher and those guys, man, have been doing quite well in the middle and taking up space and hitting gaps and making it tough for the run games.
Yeah, I think too, they spoke at the beginning of the week. They said it would be the kind of offense, I'm not saying Colorado offense, but kind of similar to the same, like kind of what they run. I think they'll be more of a running team. Colorado is, all pass, not much run. They've got players out of the wideout. You got Smoke Harris. He's a threat. He's a threat. And then they got a freshman. I believe it's Keith Willis Jr. Keith Willis Jr. He's a freshman out of Houston, Texas, and he's a back that Nebraska have to watch. Coming out of the backfield, kind of a scat back, kind of a smaller back. So it'll be interesting to see, how they choose to attack Nebraska, because I think that it would be through the passing game, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good match to see Nebraska's run defense, because the statistics right now doing really well against the run, but we've really not played against a team that's really committed to I guess Minnesota did, but they went away from it in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see another team if they choose to attack through the run. And then, like you said, to see how Nash and the guys up front handle that.
Well, the beautiful thing about the 3-3-5 is your run support, your safeties, they'll be able to get downhill. Linebackers, you'll be able to create different looks to the front that they're not able to just kind of hone in on. I think White and the group love the fact that they can give you multiple looks from a 4 down, 3 down, bringing guys up, dropping guys out. He loves the ability to get that diversity, and it's caused some confusion. It's one of those things that you just can't lock in.
Yep.
Like if coming into most of the time outside of nickel packages, you're going to have a four-man front. You can create, blocking schemes that can either handle that, thwart that, or take care of that. Same thing with the 3-3-5, it just gives you so much uncertainty that you're going to have to communicate at a whole different level. And this is what they've been able to take advantage of so far.
It causes a ton of confusion. I know at the beginning of the year, a lot of people were worried about it. I'm sitting there going, I love this defense. You're able to pull up. You can go to a 4-3. You can even go to a 5-man front if need be. It's flexible, and it gives you just in a whole different tons of different looks from blitz packages. That's another thing that I like about this defense too, because I love to blitz. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. On the receiver side of things, one of the things that still concerns me is not an ability to blow the top off yet.
Yep.
We haven't found and identified somebody there. We have great guys like Marcus Washington, who are great possession style, don't need a lot of space, but need accuracy.
Yep.
He's got good hands to catch, a little more scattish when you get into Billy Kemp, and then we just don't know from there, right? Yep. I think still they need to figure out a way to work the tight ends a little bit better to find space and room. Even if you create some dig actions underneath, let the tight ends maybe get vertical and create some open space just behind linebackers. Yep. This is why the establishing of the run is so important. You establish the run, you keep linebackers closer to the line of scrimmage a little bit longer, which allows a little bit more vertical plays to get behind. And
tight ends always open in college football.
So that's what I'm hoping to also see a core development in. The tight ends definitely have to be a threat.
Yeah, and I think too that this is also a game where maybe you try to set something up to get like a Jalen Lloyd or a Malachi Deep, just something, because I think for them, once you get that first one and you get that feel, there's just something about it until you get that. So maybe if they put in some type of play today, like maybe a wheel or something to where you can get them off the line and they don't have to, battle the defensive back.
That's where they struggle.
Off the line and design something to give them something, just to give them that deep opportunity. Because from what I've seen, I don't think they've really took like just a legitimate, shot, like, hey, run a 9, get down the field, and we're going for you, just something like that. Just to
Tommy Hill's tried a couple times, just haven't hit.
Yeah, Tommy's been and they've designed that for him, and that's a thing Nebraska's got to watch out for though. With Tommy Hill though, is it's kind of predictable. Like I was talking to some of my defensive friends, and like, well, we look, and if Tommy Hill's only playing so many plays on offense, and he comes in, we know something special is probably up their sleeves. So that's one of the things I hope Nebraska, maybe get Tommy Hill a little bit more in the game and just not always bringing him in on a design play to him. So then the defense coordinator's not like, oh yeah, Tommy Hill's in the game, they're probably going deep to him.
I'm okay with that.
You like that?
Here's why.
I like it.
Decoy it.
Yeah. Yep.
Decoy it. Send something that's going to come, like, okay, for example, if you have Tommy Hill on the slot, right? You have Marcus Washington on the outside. Decoy it, run a post with a vertical with Tommy or a wheel with Tommy, and run Fedoni on a deep drag across the field underneath all of that action. I like it. That's if you get a zone.
And that goes to,
I like
the designing, because
you got to design.
What has been happening is he comes in, he runs his play, they take him out of the game. But like you said, use him as a decoy
it.
Run it, because defense coordinator first thought defense coordinator sees is, oh, Tommy Hill's in the game, they're running something special, then boom, then you got somebody underneath.
And so if you're doing that, in most cases, here's what they're not going to do. They're not going to probably one-on-one you.
No.
They're probably going to zone you with, most likely, knowing you've got verticals with a guy like that, you're probably going to a cover 3 of some sort, or a quarters, where you've got basically four deep quarters, or you've got 3 deep quarters with a couple of linebackers that are kind of getting into the curl areas on the defense. I hope I can explain that right. You guys are hearing me. But it still leaves that part of the offense open. It's either that deep drag, if you're going quarters to that area that I talked about, or it's that middle area, because the linebackers are going to split to try to create, to get into those comeback and those curl areas, which leaves the middle. The linebacker will try to get depth, but if your running game is going, they don't get as deep. And then you've got that falling. Now that's when touch comes in. Which one of the quarterbacks you feel have the best touch? I think Jeff Sims probably has the best touch. Probably a better deep ball, but I think more accurate right now, as I've seen it, Harburg is probably the guy that's a little bit more accurate.
And what you're talking about too, on those concepts, you're making it easier for the quarterback to throw too.
Yeah.
Because you're giving them spaces. That's what I've said from the get-go. I'm like, Jeff Sims, he can throw the ball. Like I'll tell everybody this. If you take Jeff Sims and put him down just on paper, and then you take Shadur Sanders and you put him down on paper, but you don't put names. You just put what their skills, 40-yard dash, arm strength, you will choose Jeff Sims every time. But there's more to the game of football than just what's on paper.
That's a fact.
And that goes to with this coaching staff to the way they call plays. Jeff Sims, we've seen he has some issues reading defenses. I mean, that just clear.
That's a fact.
Got to be true about it.
It is what it is.
So now, if you're the offense coordinator, Satterfield, you put him in the best situation to succeed. You layer your routes. You give him stuff where he's able to boom, boom. Where
his eyes are kind of in the area, but they don't have to look off of the field.
Exactly.
I feel
exactly.
you.
And I've been saying that from the beginning of the season. I'm like, he's got the talent, he's got the abilities. It's just a matter, you've got to play call around what he has. And then and another thing too, a lot of things is getting a rhythm. And I don't think that a Nebraska passing game is ever real. We found a bit of a rhythm last week, Fedoni and Harburg, that you see that connection there between them. They had a couple big hookups, but you never saw Jeff Sims really getting a rhythm with any receiver or any tight end. It just felt like he was just out of rhythm. So I think it would be key again today, like you said, if they could get him in for a series or two, just to get some sort of rhythm, because he's still got that bad taste in his mouth of Colorado.
Of course.
So it's going to be an interesting game. And then also too, I want to let everyone know that this segment is sponsored by Jimmy John's. You can earn a free Jimmy John's sandwich after your first order when you sign up for Freaky Fast Rewards. Start now at jimmyjohns.com or inside the app. So jimmyjohns.com. Get there and you can get a free Jimmy John's sandwich.
There it is. So listen, when it comes down to everything that you've seen thus far, what is it that you would like? Obviously, it's a 21-point spread that they have for this game. What is it that you would like to see, Rafi, out of the Nebraska Cornhuskers today that will give you confidence that they would at least have a good showing or a good, like, for example, a lot of people were down on Clemson.
Yep.
Clemson's giving Florida State everything they want.
Yep.
So why not you, Nebraska?
Exactly. I think the one thing that I want to see, and we say it every game, is get through a game with no turnovers.
Yeah.
You give yourself an opportunity. If you do not turn the ball over, you give yourself an opportunity. If we can get through the game today, I don't think the rain's going to come. It maybe get a few drops, maybe. So you got to protect the football, throwing game, be smart with the football. Don't force anything. If you can keep that's a huge part of the game. Michigan, they're a bruising team. They like to run the ball. Well, what's Nebraska's strength right now? They like to stop the run. So if you don't turn the ball over, you play some field position, and you can get some, a couple. What do they say on offense? Like 6 big plays a game. If you're trying for 6 big plays or something like that, I forgot what the stats are like that. So if Nebraska can go to Michigan, play good, solid football, we got to get through today's game, of course. No turnovers, play field position, get some long punts, and take your chances. I think Nebraska's got a chance. But if Nebraska goes into that game, goes behind the chains, and we're 2nd and 15, 1st and 15, and then we start forcing things, and the turnovers happen, and that's when the snowballs. So it's just about playing good, clean football. So today, I just want to see out of Nebraska, you're going to have those 2 new backs. I'm sure they're going to get their time in there. You've got to go out. You just got to play some good football. Heinrich Harburg, don't force anything. Just play consistent football. Be a game manager. Running the ball, pick and choose his runs. 21 carries, I still think it's too much.
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
A lot of people say, well, those weren't design carries. Well, I understand.
Well, give us the range of what you would like to see, because I think you get, when you get above 20, I think that's a lot. How would you like to see that balance if you're going to have the quarterback run in the 15 to 20 range?
I would like.
How would you like to see that?
I would like to see like 10 to 15 combined. So.
Oh, so you want to see 10 to 15 combined? I think if you have 5, I think if you have around 8 to 10 design runs, especially if you're running option style, I'm okay with that. I think when you get up in the 20, that means your line is not freaking doing the job, and your receivers are not getting. That's a problem. So I think a lot of it can be a benchmark to tell you issues that you need to
and
get better at, right?
And you got to realize too, it's a different type of 20 carries for, say, like a Jalen Hurts is different than a 20 carries for Heinrich Harburg, because Heinrich Harburg has made it clear to the media and to everyone out there, if he has a chance to run you over, pretty good chance he's going to run you over. And he's talked to some of the former quarterbacks in Nebraska history, telling them maybe you should think about sliding. And it gives the reply, well, did you ever slide? And then that's where, like, the Tommy Frazier of the world have got to be like,
no.
He's like, no, I did not slide. However, I was only running the ball. Go back and look at Tommy Frazier's carries throughout his career. I mean, history, we look back 25 years, we're like, oh, Tommy Frazier carried the ball every time. You go back and look at Tommy's carries when he played, 8 carries, 60 yards, 7 carries. He was smart with the football, so he didn't have to slide because he wasn't running the ball. The only game where he had a game where I think he was at 20 carries was the Fiesta Bowl in his final game. And that was the game where he knew for his college football career, there was never going to be another. So he put all out there that night. But going up until then, his previous 4 years, Coach Osborne knew, is like, we got to have Tommy for the long run. And you look at Tommy, he had a couple injuries, but other than, the blood clots, of course, he went through his career. He was fairly healthy, other than just, the medical issues. But yeah, that's the thing with Heinrich. You just, if he's going to run and he's going to be physical like that, you just can't put him in harm's way that much time. But now you go back to looking at, if you've got Jeff Sims healthy, then maybe you're like, okay, like last week, it would have been interesting if Harburg would have went down, would Chuba, is he healthy again? Are they able to get him in there? I'd like to see, Chuba get some snaps today. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's gonna be a fun game for Nebraska, just to see kind of where they're sitting. And it's another thing too. I harp on this all the time. If they can get this game decided in the first two. And the first,
we gotta love the fans.
Yeah,
man.
that's
awesome.
big Jack's in the house, Jack and Alex. So if you can get this game decided, preferably, maybe just after halftime, before halftime, so you can get the Quentin Ives in the world, you can get the Emmett Johnsons, you can get Chubb in there, you can get players in there and get them that experience. It not only will it help for next week, it's going to help down the road, because back in the 80s and 90s, you were seeing all these players, these young players, get in early in their careers. So then when they were able to come back and play later in the career, they'd already had that experience in front of playing in a big crowd, playing in a game. So that'll be fun. Strick.
Yeah, man.
What's your score prediction for today?
I still think that Nebraska wins. I just think that Louisiana Tech covers.
Okay.
I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really want to see total domination. Like, I want to see total domination. If I don't see that, then that gives me pause and gives me worry going into next week, because if you don't take that mentality this week, wait till they come in here next week.
So I'm going Nebraska 48, Louisiana Tech 13.
Oh, good gosh. You think we score 48 today?
We're scoring 48 today.
Wow.
They give up. They've been giving up 30. They've been giving up 31 points a game.
Then it's going to require domination for that. It's not just going to be no
turnover.
But here's the thing. Here's why I don't think they get there. And I know we got to go. I don't think they get there, Rafi, because it's going to be a very run heavy load.
Yep.
What happens with run heavy loads? Time runs off the clock. Possessions begin to shrink. Opportunities don't present themselves. If you're dominating in the run, I don't think there's enough possessions to get you without big plays. Now, if you say you want big plays and you get those, and maybe you get there.
Malachi Coleman will score his first touchdown today.
With domination.
Mark it down. Mark it down.
Yeah.
No, I just think that they come out and they just play clean football, no turnovers. They're going to have a chance to be close to that 40.
So I think with the mode that you're talking about, clean football, very run heavy, I think they maybe get to 30.
30. Okay.
30 points. And then you hope your defense is dominant. If your defense is dominant, then I can see where there's a score of like a 34-10.
I just don't
something like that.
I don't want to be biting my fingers in the fourth quarter. That is my only issue.
I definitely don't
I want this decided, early third quarter, where we can start getting some players in, start seeing what we're, made of, I guess.
Yeah, we can relax, and I can, toss back Little glass of wine or something.
This isn't Thursday, Strick. This isn't Thursday.
We love you guys, man, but we got to get out of here. What we got going on? Jimmy John's. Yeah, Jimmy John's, sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Yep. Get to Jimmy John's, jimmyjohns.com, and then we will get those tickets out to Jeannie and Jared here at the break. So we'll send it to break. This has been the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, and we will be right back.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
What do Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods, and LeBron James have in common? They're all among the best athletes in their sports of all time. And they all do Pilates. Yep, Pilates is not just for women. It helps everyone to bring the muscles of the body into balance and help the mobility and strength in spine and joints. Pilates can help your golf game and anything else you do for fun. Do Pilates, do life. Check out Club Pilates in Lincoln today at 84th and Holdridge. Online at clubpilates.com/Lincoln or at 531-500-1456.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come with both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
To the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits.
We are about an hour away from kickoff here on 93.7 The Ticket. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, and we are glad to be with you. This particular segment sponsored by Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. Load up on all your tailgate necessities for beers, spirits, wine, and more at Lincoln's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, just north of 27th in Superior. As we are an hour out, myself, Jake Bachman, and Enrique Alvarez-Clary in the studios. How are you feeling today, Rico? It's a little bit warm, actually. I tried to get prepared for the rain and bring a rain jacket.
Yep.
It's too hot. I took it off.
It was sprinkling this morning, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. We're in for a."
Oh, sorry about that. Collapsing of a mic. There
I was like, "We are in for a big running game, big running day today." And then it started to clear up, and it started to get warmer, and now I'm sitting here like, Nebraska's still going to run the ball, but now it's kind of hot now. It's interesting. It's going to get a little humid because of all of the wetness that was going on earlier today, and now the heat's following. So it'll be a very interesting day today. Hopefully, Nebraska is able to contain that Louisiana Tech passing game.
Yeah, and it's a weird situation here in Louisiana Tech. Not coming with their starter, Hank Bachmeier. He's out for, emergency situation. Nebraska, I'm sure you've heard by now, doing the same, although it's tough to tell who is the starter because even an injury week, the depth chart said had an or on it. Yep. We had Heinrich Harburg or Jeff Sims, but of course, Jeff Sims started. And I think there's probably an emergency situation. And I think that's, and I wouldn't even say emergency. Maybe it's just kind of if you want to give him a pretty good chance at getting ready for Michigan as this game wears on. Do you expect to see Jeff Sims today?
No.
I
don't expect to see Jeff Sims really at all today, unless, of course, something happened. Like if Heinrich Harburg has to go out, if Heinrich gets, God forbid, if Heinrich Harburg gets hurt or if anything happens and he has to come out for any period of time, I would think if like his helmet comes off and he has to come out for a play, you probably see Chuba.
Yeah.
But if he's like done for the rest of the game, I think Sims is the one that spells him. Sims is going to be the one that comes into the game and takes Nebraska the rest of the way. But I believe that he's probably really close to 100%, or it's probably one of those where he says he's 100%, but they're thinking, you know what, we're just going to wait. You'll get the start next week in Michigan, more than likely. So we'll leave you. We'll get Heinrich in here to get us this game against Louisiana Tech, and then He'll take all the first team reps leading up to the Wolverines.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of interesting here is if because there has been talk, different pundits throughout the week that sat in the studio have said whoever gets to start this week, they would think would have to start against Michigan, just because if it's Heinrich, basically it's 2 weeks in a row. Jeff Sims would be coming back against a top 5 team coming off of injury. So that's always also at play. I mean, so the quarterback, I don't know if you want to call it a controversy or just competition at this point, is very, very intriguing and a big storyline in today's game. I know a lot of other people dominating the airwaves talking about Anthony Grant, want to see him get going. He's been in the doghouse. How about Thomas Fidone, a guy that's had 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games? You expect to see another one today?
I do. I think that they're going to lean heavy on Anthony Grant and this run game and Heinrich Harburg, Jeff Sims. If Jeff Sims gets in, it's going to be very run heavy, but that's going to open up things for the play action, for the late release tight ends, blocking for a second or two and then releasing and getting out there. So I think Fidone gets another touchdown today. I'm not going to go as far as what VJ said earlier. The captain said 5 catches, 100 yards exactly, and 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to go that
That's
far.
a good game. He's a tight end guy.
Look, that's a really good game if that happens. No, I mean, he'll have a decent amount of catches. I think he gets 1 touchdown. I don't think he gets to 100 yards, but I think this is probably a good game for him, considering how much they're going to run, and they'll mix in the play action. And if it looks like last week, Heinrich really likes to target Fidone, and he does a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. So I think the offense will be able to hold on to it and have longer drives, which will probably result in a tight end getting a couple of catches.
Well, and it's intriguing because I do think Fidone would be your lead, maybe as far as expectation to be one of your leading receivers today. But if you just go with the receiving group, it's kind of tough. You're kind of throwing darts at a dartboard there. I mean, I think Kemp has, all these guys have the potential. Could be Washington, could be Kemp, could be Bullock. It's tough to tell on a day like this. I don't expect to see anybody with 100 yards like maybe Rashawn does. Like you, I think there's going to be a lot of heavy run game today. But it'll be interesting to see who kind of comes out of that group, because it's not just today. It's not just like a matchup thing. They need to find somebody who's a little bit more reliable. And that's why I brought up Fidone, because he seems to be the guy. Now that's at the tight end position. It would be nice to get another one of those guys out on the perimeter.
Nebraska, I saw this stat earlier today, and it's stuck in my brain. Nebraska has 20 more pass attempts than Army and Navy. Those teams don't pass.
Yeah, those teams don't choose
like
not
at
to.
all. And Nebraska has only 20 more. JJ McCarthy will have 20. He probably had 20 in the first quarter against Rutgers today. That's a ridiculous number for Nebraska to have that little pass attempts this season so far. But I get it. They're leaning on the run game. They're ranked, I think, in the top 50 in running offense. They're in the top 25 in rushing defense. I think they're like top 3 in rushing defense. But their passing offense is like 3rd from last. They need to find someone to help them open up the passing game, because if not, teams are just going to start, and better teams than a Louisiana Tech, than a Northern Illinois are going to start stacking the box, and they're going to force you to pass. And if you don't have a reliable receiver, if your tight end is your number one, and again, Fidone is a really good tight end. I don't know if he currently, with 2 major knee injuries and surgeries, is up to the level that he wants to be or he can be quite yet. So I don't know if he can be that true number 1 breakout receiving threat for you. I don't know if Billy Kemp can do that. I don't know if Marcus, I don't know who can, but you're going to need to find somebody, because if you're leaning on your running game this heavily and you can't stretch things out at all, you're going to run into some problems when better teams start coming at you.
Yeah, I think this offense, because of the personnel and a lot of that being the quarterback, we'll see what Harburg can do today. Maybe can kind of open that up.
Does he have more rushes or pass attempts?
That's the question. That's what I'm saying. I think this team, with the personnel they have, is going to be fairly one-dimensional throughout the year. That's not to say that they can't pass, but you mentioned their pretty much the culture they're setting up. And I've heard some people say, not as impressed with the run game as of yet. It doesn't look like the pipeline or anything. And surely it doesn't. But you can't just flip a switch and say all of a sudden we're going to be a run dominant team. You got to kind of work that culture in. You got to work into that. And I think that's what they're doing so far. And that does set up well for the play action and the tight end to get into it. But there are going to be games when Nebraska's offensive line is not at that pace. Like a Michigan certainly seems like it could be one of those games where you can't just run the ball over everybody. Today, I think that is what they can do. I don't think Louisiana Tech is a particularly good team. It's no disrespect to Sonny Crumby, the people they have in charge over there. It is the second year under that coaching staff. But especially with their personnel losses too. Like we said, not their starting quarterback. They're down 2 of their better running backs. They've got a deep threat and a consistent player in Smoke Harris at wide receiver.
But he's also 5'7".
That's not very big. And just quite frankly, though they're 2-2, they haven't played a team of Nebraska's caliber yet. Nebraska should be battle tested as far as this game, prepared for this game, having gone through Colorado and Minnesota. And Louisiana Tech hasn't necessarily done that. Now, on the opposite side of that, you do, if you're Louisiana Tech or a program like that, this is your game. And I stopped short of saying a Super Bowl, but this is the game that you circle. Louisiana Tech isn't such a poverty program that nobody's ever heard of them before. They've had success. So it's not like one of those, hey, let's put them on the map type of things, because people know who they are. But as far as this era, this like coaching staff, this would be huge for them.
Yeah.
So this is a game that they've circled. They're getting excited about. And so I expect at least their best shot.
This is the game that again, like you said, doesn't put them on the map, but it gets you onto SportsCenter, it gets you onto ESPN, onto Fox Sports, CBS, and they're talking about, well, Nebraska paid Louisiana Tech this much money, and they came up to Memorial Stadium and beat them. So that's something that'll boost probably recruitment, and just like, hey, look, even if we don't have the best recruits in the nation or whatever, we can still go out and do this. If you, with all of your talent, you can come here, we can go to a Memorial Stadium and beat a Nebraska. Like, that's what we can do. So you still have to watch out for a team like a Louisiana Tech, even with all of, like you said, the injuries that they have. And I'm sad that I'm not going to be able to see Hank Bachmeier play at Memorial Stadium. I loved watching him play at Boise State. That dude was fun to watch, especially his freshman year. He kind of went down after that, but still very fun player to watch. So this Louisiana Tech team is, look, they're smaller than Nebraska. So it's not like saying that they're very tiny, a very tiny team, and you're going to be able to push them around, but they are going to be smaller than Nebraska. They're smaller than a Big Ten team, and it's a team that you should be able to have some success against. But what they like to do on the offensive side, and I talked about this with Terrell and Vershawn, is they're not going to throw down the field all that much, but they're going to hit you with some screens, some tunnel screens, some all of these things where they're going to get their playmakers the ball, and they rely on missed tackles, and they are good at avoiding tackles. So Nebraska is going to have to be on their P's and Q's defensively, which hasn't really been an issue for them early in the season. They've been pretty solid defensively. So this is going to be one of those games where open field tackling is going to be key, and this is really going to tell you how well Nebraska is going to do it. Kind of like the Colorado game. Like this is a team kind of akin to that, less athletes than Colorado has, but kind of generally the same aspect where they're getting
Similar
their playmakers.
offense.
Yeah, they're getting their playmakers the balls quickly and then letting them go to work. So this is going to be a really important open field tackling game for Nebraska, and this will really test that defense because, with the offense, we just talked about it. They're going to run the ball with the quarterback more than likely more than they're going to run it with Anthony Grant. They're not going to pass it all that much, and when they do, they're not going to go very far. It's not like they're going to chuck it down the field for a 60-yard touchdown.
There's a Tommy Hill deep shot every game.
Look, they'll take
one.
They'll take 4 deep shots a game.
They'll take a few deep
and
shots.
They'll complete one of them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. Other than that, it's going to be, they're playing 5 yards in a cloud of dust with their quarterback running the ball. So defensively, I think this is a very important game where forcing turnovers, not exactly scoring on defense, that would be wonderful. I would love that.
Oh, yeah.
But forcing turnovers, getting the ball to your offense in a short field is going to be very imperative.
Yeah, and to your point, though, I mean, this is a 21-point spread with a Nebraska team that hardly averages 21 points a game. I mean, so that kind of lets you know what the odds makers think of this game, quite frankly, what they think of Louisiana Tech and where they are kind of struggling to build their momentum. And that's why if you've listened to the pregame show, as I have, just about everybody in this whole week is saying this is a dominate game. This is a get your backups in the third quarter type of game.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't happen, I think that I wouldn't say any cause for alarm or anything, but it would kind of let you know that this Nebraska team is struggling more so than their 1-2 record would even indicate, I suppose. Now, if they lose it, all hell breaks loose, and
that is a problem.
That's a tough deal to where you're really probably not thinking too much about getting to a bowl game if they lose today.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about that. I don't think that that's necessarily too much in the cards. It's college football. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. But we don't really have to deal with that or really think about it. But if it is a close game, you just expect more of a bloodbath, I guess, against Michigan next week.
Yeah, so I think I heard Nick say it earlier, where if this game is close at halftime, I'm pretty sure he said, not to worry, they'll probably come out and do what they did against Northern Illinois, where the game wasn't exactly over by halftime. They came out, they made some adjustments. This coaching staff has shown the ability to make adjustments on the fly and at halftime, which is something that we can't exactly say for the previous staff or the staff before them. So if they're up by 10, 13, whatever, 14 at halftime, I'm fairly confident that they'll be able to grow that lead. And if they don't get their backups in at the end of the third quarter, maybe halfway through the fourth quarter. Well, I fully expect to see backups in this game. And like you said, if that doesn't happen, depending on how the game looks, if there's a lot of mistakes and that's why they're still in it, that's why Louisiana Tech's still in it, you're worried because of the mistakes, but you're not worried at the final score, just thinking, Nebraska had a chance to dominate, but they threw 2 interceptions. They lost the ball on fumbles 2 times. That's the only reason it was within 2 touchdowns or something like that. But this should be, look, I don't think I predicted it quite yet, but they're going to win by at least 24.
Yeah, I could see that. I do think that I've heard a few people say that this is, 49 points, 56 points today.
Yeah,
I don't think Nebraska's offense necessarily is built to do that. I mean, Michigan, when they beat you 38-3, that's a dominating performance. It doesn't have to be overwhelming offense, touchdowns left and right. And that's not what Matt Rule's necessarily going for. Again, he's gonna grind it. He said it. He put it on paper that he wants to run for 250. So if he's at 215, he'll probably keep grinding away.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, and so that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to take all these shots left and right. And again, I just don't think Nebraska necessarily has the personnel to do that. Now, maybe year 2, year 3, Marcus Satterfield in this offense, you get things going. You can kind of change that with some extra playmakers in there. But I don't necessarily see that particularly being the case. But I could see, similar to last week. I think that 35-11. You can see a 38-3, 38-10. Might get into the 40s. I'd be surprised if they get in the 50s.
38-14. I think Louisiana Tech scores a touchdown in the first half, and they score a touchdown in the second half against the backups.
Trash.
That's what. Yeah. Just a kind of what
that
happened.
made me upset against Northern Illinois.
Yeah, very much so. That's going to happen more than likely.
Yeah. And Tony White, by the way, we all know he's doing really well. That defense is doing great. He highlighted Nash Hutmacher this week and saying he's one of the best defensive linemen in the country.
Nash was playing good last
and Nash has been taking those steps. Again, it's hard to say. I mean, I think Michigan will be a big test for that, as far as one of the best in the country with what they've faced so far. But Nebraska, statistically, rushing defense wise, and in certain categories, sacks, they're up there as one of the best in the country. I don't think their defense is there yet. But
I think they're like the 3rd best rushing defense in the country.
Yeah,
they're only allowing like 40-something yards a game, which is just ridiculous. Just quick, you want some score updates?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Michigan and Rutgers was close at a half. It was 14-7 Michigan led. It is now 31-7 Michigan lead in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
So what did I just say about them? 38-3, they'll beat you.
Something like that. Florida State, Clemson.
Yeah.
I was on the TV. I just saw it there. Florida State just punted down to like the Clemson 1. It's tied at 24 apiece.
Okay.
12 minutes left in the fourth.
Which, by the way, on that game, I was just thinking about it earlier. How crazy would it have been before last year if I would have told you Mike Norvell is at Clemson facing Dabo Swinney, coaching mismatch you would think, because Norvell was in the hot seat going into last year. How things have turned in a year to where Clemson is where they are, and Florida State's a top 5 team. That being said, I think Duke's a pretty good squad, and so I know that Clemson lost that game. They dropped out of the top 25.
That's a decent.
I still think that's a top 25, maybe top 16, 17 type of thing for Clemson. They're just not there right now.
Yeah. Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Oklahoma's only up 17-6 as the fourth quarter is getting underway there out in Cincinnati. Syracuse is Syracuse good this year?
It's tough to tell. Even when they win games early, some years the
wheels fall off towards the end. Well, they're up 26-10 in the fourth quarter against Army.
Okay.
I know it's Army, but still 26-10. Texas A&M up on Auburn 20-3 in the fourth. Troy up on Western Kentucky 20-17 in the fourth. At the end of the third, Kentucky leads Vanderbilt 31-13. Virginia Tech is losing to Marshall 24-10 in the fourth quarter.
Yikes.
Virginia Tech is bad. Virginia Tech is very
bad.
bad.
Off to a rough start.
TCU 27-10 over SMU in the fourth. Northern Illinois losing to Tulsa 19-14 in the fourth.
Say it again. That's the last week's opponent.
Yep, last week's opponent is losing to Tulsa 19-14.
It's a close game.
Western Michigan Toledo tied at 14 in the second, and at the end of the first quarter, Georgia Southern, Scott Frost's nemesis, up 14-0 on Ball State.
Yeah. You hear Bill Bush is saying that's a good Georgia Southern team. Or he was talking about last year's team, but
that is a good Georgia Southern
that's
team.
a good Georgia Southern team. Yeah.
Also, Colorado. Did you see what they were doing at Oregon?
Yeah, stomping on the midfield
They
logo.
went on the midfield logo, and one of the players was like scraping his feet, raking his feet on the logo. Saw somebody say that he was offered by Oregon and they pulled his offer at on signing day. So that's why.
It's personal.
But still, you were complaining about teams on your midfield logo, and now you're doing the same thing.
What do you 21-point spread in that game? Is that too much?
Oregon's going to roll them.
Oh, you're a big Oregon guy.
I love Bo Nix.
You love Bo Nix. You love Utah also in a battle today. You think they've handled UCLA? I know you're a Utah guy.
The problem is Cam Rising's not playing. And they're undefeated right now, and they played okay with their backup quarterback, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal to not have Cam Rising.
That's your playoff pick.
Against a solid. Yeah, I know. I'm scared.
You and DP.
Yeah, I'm scared. They need to win this to stay in the playoff hunt. Because the thing is with a Pac-12 team, especially with Utah, for whatever reason, if they lose one game, they're done. They could win the Pac-12, which they have the last 2 years with I think they had one loss last year. Still, no playoff.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is just sitting there waiting for the 12-team playoff, but
they've got 7 teams ranked right now.
But the problem is, as soon as the Pac-12 can have those 2 lost teams in, the Pac-12's dead, disintegrated, gone. So their 12-team playoff they never get saved by that.
The terrible thing is Washington State and Oregon State are actually really good, but they play each other today.
They do, yeah. The 2 teams that are basically being relegated out of the Power 5.
Both ranked in the top 20, both playing each other. They're playing each other today.
And it is a gauntlet over there. UCLA, Utah, USC. I mean, it
Washington.
Washington. You mentioned Washington State.
Michael Penix Jr. I saw somebody's rankings. They have him as the best quarterback in college football.
He's right up there.
Lefty.
To be fair, he's 26 years old.
That is true.
It's his 8th year playing.
That is true.
But there is that. And then the other one that I think if you're talking is Michael Penix Jr., bring that up. I think he's got numbers. He could make a Heisman run if he gets Washington going. But I think that today is the Sam Hartman Heisman. This is the start of the Sam Hartman Heisman run, because I think he's taking down Ohio State.
Ohio State's rolling.
In South Bend.
Ohio State's rolling Notre Dame.
Sam Hartman's also 26, which is why
all of these quarterbacks.
I don't know if he's 26, but he's been here forever.
All of these quarterbacks are over 25 years old. And then there's Caleb Williams at 12. He's 19.
Do you see Caleb Williams, by the way, his Wendy's commercial the other night? I was watching college football. Just started to kick in my head because you also see Aflac commercials with Dion and Nick and Saban. You think about the money they get there. And this NIL era where I understand there's a lot of guys that can get some money here and there, but by and large, it's not going to match an NFL contract.
No.
However, Wendy's money, I mean, if they could really get a commercial thing going where it's funny and they're going for the comical angle, but the whole joke was he transferred to Wendy's or whatever, and he doesn't want to play for my Arizona Cardinals. He might actually stay. I'm starting to buy into it a little bit more if something like that can take off.
Well, he's actually doing the Heisman. So remember, Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman, but he's not doing the Heisman House commercials because he's still in college.
Yeah.
Or
right.
There was somebody else that won it and was still in college, and they can't do the Heisman House commercials because they're still in college. Caleb Williams is in the Nissan Heisman House. He's doing commercials for Nissan and the Heisman. He's doing commercials for Wendy's. He doesn't need to go to the NFL.
Not necessarily. I mean, he's got some good money going there. I don't know how well it will compare.
Look, it's not
we'll
number
see.
1 overall pick money, but it's still some decent money.
Yeah. So we'll kind of see.
I'd stay in college another year.
Well, that whole idea is kind of silly though, because what are you going to do? Wait the next year, and then there's going to be another bad franchise that needs a quarterback.
Yeah, but it's not Arizona.
Maybe
hey. With how good Arizona's been playing, maybe New England sucks as bad, and maybe they get
Arizona has been playing well. I'll give the Cardinals a little bit of credit there.
I honestly, if New England tanked this year and got Caleb Williams, wouldn't be mad. I'd be okay with this season if they get Caleb Williams, if that's how it ends.
You giving up on Mac Jones already?
I'm not giving up on Mac Jones, but Caleb Williams is better.
Just move him right out of the way. Yeah.
Look, if you're going to suck, at least get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, that's what.
Don't just miss the playoffs. Don't miss the playoffs by a game, because then you're going to pick 12 and you're not going to get anybody. Don't do that. All right?
Yeah.
Be bad.
That's not the Patriots' way. It seems like they're going to go like 500.
Yeah,
just barely miss the playoffs or get in and get squashed.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. Exactly what I needed.
As we look forward to kickoff here, a few more minutes in this segment. As I was mentioning, though, I was kind of thinking about this earlier. Matt Rule and his whole tenure coming here, we're all excited about his past. But the one thing that was kind of a concern to me was he had a defensive coordinator that stuck with him into the NFL and his stops at Temple and Baylor. And so, sometimes a coordinator can make their head coach look really good. That coordinator, I think, is retired now. He's an older gentleman. And so they had to go out and get Tony White. And that's what makes this start of the season, though Nebraska is 1-2, make me feel good long-term about where this thing is going. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to keep Tony White forever, because I mean, if he's this impressive, there's going to be a lot of people knocking on the door.
Yeah, he's got that associate head coach title. Better not go anywhere.
I know, but they might have to give him a pay raise or two to keep him around in the next coming years if the defense is looking like this.
Please don't leave.
But I mean, seriously, that was one of my major concerns. And I know there are other concerns with the offensive coordinator, and there's still going to be concerns there, I think, throughout the year, because I don't think this offense is going to necessarily wow you in any way.
Remember how bad South Carolina was at the beginning of the year?
That's right.
That they figured it out. But now Spencer Rattler's still good.
Yeah.
And he also had Spencer Rattler, but still.
And part of them figuring it out was maybe eliminating his play calling or whatever. But
no, he was still calling plays, wasn't he?
Well, we'll see.
Pretty sure he was.
There's mixed reports on that.
Well, could be wrong. We'll see what happens.
That'll wrap it up for this segment, though. This segment was brought to you by Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. Load up on all your tailgate necessities for beer, spirits, and wine at Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, just north of 27th and Superior. I'm Jake Buckman. He's Enrique Alvarez-Clary. Rico, you going to stick around, or is it Harrison and...
it's going to be Harrison and Austin.
And Austin coming up next. Very cool. All right, let's go ahead and send it to commercial so we can get to Harrison and Austin.
38-14.
Leading you right up to the game. Is that your last
38-14. I'm going trash touchdown.
I'm going 38-10.
Could be 38-7.
Could be.
We'll see what happens.
How did we get 11 last week?
They missed a 2-point conversion.
They went for two, didn't they? They made the two.
Wait. They had a touchdown. 7.
I think they made the 2-point conversion.
I don't know how we got to 11.
I was going to say, you could just throw out a random number, and that might happen today, too.
Yeah, I don't know how they got to 11.
All right. That'll wrap it up for this segment. We'll be back with a lot more here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, live from 1040 O Street here in Lincoln, Nebraska, coming up next.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha. The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
General contractors, business owners, property owners, The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico!
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Fleet Feet.
We're still rolling here, the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show ahead of Nebraska and Louisiana Tech. I'm Austin Norman. He's Harrison Arons. We'll take you through the next half an hour up till kickoff. This segment brought to you by Fleet Feet. You're on your feet a ton in the fall. Make sure you're in a comfortable pair of shoes to avoid unnecessary discomfort. Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers. Been a lot of good football chatter here today. One thing I haven't heard anyone talk about, though, Harrison, Hall of Fame weekend for Husker football. Flown pretty well under the radar. You have 6 former Huskers going in this class from the 1980s. Defensive tackle David Clark goes in. From the 1990s, Troy Dumas, a name that we know very well here in Nebraska and at the ticket. Sam Cook, pride of Seward High, in the 2000 to 2006 category. Longtime NFL punter, won that Super Bowl with the Ravens when the lights went out on them and the 49ers. Kyle Vanden Bosch, again, that same 2000 to 2006 era. Then the two headliners, at least for, I assume, guys like you and me growing up when we did. You have Spencer Long, offensive guard who had a nice career in the NFL, and Taylor Martinez back on campus. Those are your 6 inductees to the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. We know Jeff Sims is injured. We know Heinrich Haarberg's getting the start today. But in the past week, Adrian Martinez and Taylor Martinez have both come back to campus. Are they trying to make it a competition?
We'll find out. But yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because it does seem to kind of get swept under the rug here. But yeah, I mean, Taylor Martinez, growing up, this is kind of when peak getting into Husker football. Yeah. And man, he had that just breakaway speed. He was side to side, maybe not as fast, but is he got that straight ahead speed when he broke out of the pocket? Man, yeah. So I got no problems with him getting inducted there. I'm a big Taylor Martinez fan when I was growing up. That's for sure.
Huge record holder at Nebraska. Did a lot of stuff, a lot of freshman records. I remember him bursting on the scene at Kansas State. That Thursday night game, Nebraska goes down to Manhattan. I'm not going to lie, though. I was always more scared for Taylor Martinez than I was any other football player in history because of how straight up and down he ran and how little he liked contact. Like, he starts slowing down and chopping the feet, but he doesn't break down to cut. He just slows down, stands up, and kind of curls his upper body into a ball and then just gets laid out time and time again.
Yeah, part of me always kind of wondered, though, like, you remember his turf toe and all that was going on. Yeah. I wonder if that was a big part of it because you remember, trying to stop and slide, but if your feet are killing you like that, I think that's kind of way that awkward crumble up. Like, he couldn't break down because, I mean, we heard it over and over again. That was a serious problem. And, part of it, I think that's why we never really saw the growth continue. Like, he was never a bad quarterback, but we never saw it hit that elite level. But obviously still did a lot of great things for Nebraska. But, we do have a little bit of time here. Well, these are going to be a couple of short segments too for all those listening as we get these last ad breaks in here, and then we will send you off to the game here. But nonetheless, there are some key points that we want to get into. One of them, just a fun note, you pointed out before we started the show, we'll get to see DeColdis Crawford.
Finally.
We'll get to see him. Yeah, I don't think we never really got to see him at Nebraska. He transferred out of here before we saw him on the field. But now you'll get a chance to see him over there, as well as we will see their backup quarterback in Jack Turner, which, I got my own opinions about it, but that defense, I'm sure Tony White and that defense has got to be salivating. We've seen kind of what that confusion can do, the way they bring their blitz packages, how they can kind of fuse, bring 5, bring 3, how they drop it into zone. It's just confusing, especially if you're a young quarterback. And I got Jack Turner in there, and this is going to be his first career start. He has had reps in other games, but this is by far tough start at a big time environment. So you can look at it either ways. Either A, he's going to be up for the challenge and realize how big of a moment, or B, kind of what we saw with Jeff Sims in Colorado, the moment was just too big.
Anecdotally, I think it's the former. I can't pick out all these examples off the top of my head, but it just feels like whenever Nebraska goes up against a freshman starter or someone making their first start, or it's their first appearance, regardless of the era, regardless of the head coach, the defense, it seems like freshman quarterback or first-time starters just find a way to make it work against Nebraska. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Like, again, I can't point to specific examples off the top of my head, but it just feels that way. Maybe that's my Royals fandom and these rookie, pitchers come in and they throw no hitters, it seems like, when they face the Royals. But I'm a little nervous for Jack Turner just because I have that sense that they do well. I hope the crowd is a factor. I think Tony White is going to be more of a factor for Jack Turner than previous defensive coordinators has been. But I'm a little worried about the environment. Even though Nebraska got a win last week, really at this point, Harrison, Memorial Stadium has to get back to being more intimidating. Like right now, I think it's just big, right? And sure, maybe there's some stage fright for being in front of that many people, never played in an environment that big. But in terms of the crowd itself, the noise, I expect more from Husker fans. I think they've left a lot on the table over the last decade.
Yeah, and part of that is the Husker fans having to hold their breath up until the third quarter, right? It's everyone wants to get super excited, but
if you're nervous, isn't that a good time to let out energy too, right? Cheer on the defense, make them get a stop. If you're nervous, get loud. If you're excited, get loud.
Yeah, there's absolutely. I mean, you got to go out there and support and be as loud as possible. But again, I think it's just, it's when you want the fans to do something, no matter how much you yell and praise, it's going to have to be organic. You just can't shift the fan to react the way you want. It's always going to have to be organic reaction. And that's what happens when you have, you set yourself a decade of just constant football where you're holding your breath, whether it's turnovers, penalties. But, against Northern Illinois, maybe this game does look different. I do think there is more on the table, and we kind of saw that with Northern Illinois. Yes, the first half, not a great start, kind of the same thing, rinse and repeat. But that third quarter, that long drive that nearly ate up that entire third quarter, regardless the score wasn't a super big spread, it felt like Nebraska was in control of the game.
Right.
So again, it doesn't need to be a blowout for Nebraska to be going crazy, but it needs to be some sort of rhythm on offense that even if it's only a 2-score game, when your team gets back out on the field, you're ready to go. And you're not, like I said, holding your breath. So, that's for me, it's just going to be, if you want to act on playing at home, you can't start slow. And then it just plays in the other team's favor, because then your silence is kind of like your fuel. So you got to avoid those slow starts.
To me, it comes down to how many times today can Nebraska win 3 possessions in a row, whether they kick off first or they receive first. If they receive first, absolutely march down the field, have one of those scripted drives that we talk so much about, score. Then the defense has to respond right away. Get a stop, a 3-and-out preferably. And then if you're the offense, you just scored, you're feeling good. You can't go into cruise control after 1 possession. There's no way Louisiana Tech should be able to adjust after 1 possession. Score, get a stop, get it early, and then go score again. You're up 2 possessions 10 minutes into the game, I would guess. Or let's flip that around. Let's say the defense gets on the field first. Okay, get a stop, get a 3-and-out, get a big play, interception, fumble, whatever. Offense, take advantage, capitalize, do it. And then if you're the defense, go out and prove it wasn't a fluke. Get them off the field again. Even if you're only up, 7-0, you've set the tone. You're in control of that game. The other team is searching for answers desperately, and you're in a good spot. So to me, it comes down to those 3 possession little segments of the game.
Yeah, I'm there with you. And again, I just think at this point, this defense, I really hope this is a game they embrace and get that first goose egg. I think if you're just reading this game on paper and you're going to try to figure out, which game does Nebraska get its first shutout, or any shutout at all this season, you got to be looking at this game. And I think we saw that at last game, especially, with that turnover. You could argue whether it was Harburg's fault or not. I know the block was missed, but you still got to have the awareness. Nonetheless, the defense responded, and it kind of felt like they had their back. You heard Matt Rule talk about it, complimentary football. You can afford to have one bad drive. If it's a slow start, not ideal, but if you can just get your defense to help you out and you bounce back and you don't have to wait until the second half, I think that's kind of what the team's going to be leaning on. With that being said, though, we do got to throw it to our break here. We'll have one more segment after that for the A1 Automotive Ticket pregame show. It's just me and Austin sitting here all the way up until game time. We'll throw it to break and catch you guys on the other side.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. we just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
For many Nebraskans, fall means cooler weather and longer days that include running kids around, cheering for your favorite teams, and long days at work. The hours on your feet can really add up and give unnecessary pain and discomfort. At Fleet Feet Lincoln, they help find the shoes and inserts you need with their Fit ID machine, which takes a 3D image of your feet. If you're having trouble finding the right fit, visit Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Yours Cheese Spread.
That's right. We're back here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, just about 10 minutes or so away from kickoff between the Huskers and the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. This final segment of the show brought to you by Fuhrer's Cheese Spread. No tailgate is complete without Fuhrer's Cheese Spread, based out of Sutton, Nebraska. You can find yours today at most local grocery stores. Well, we've just about covered it all. Austin Norman, Harrison Arns with you here for this last little bit. Harrison, what's your key storyline for the game today?
Key storyline is I kind of led with it before, but a key storyline is I think we're gonna finally see that this defense. I mean, we kind of heard it all offseason. The defense is ahead of the offense, not just once, not just 2 weeks. I think we had 3 weeks in a row. We kind of heard that same story over and over. My storyline is this is the game where I think we can kind of start feeling good about that. That this defense, I'm calling it. And I think it is going to be a shutout. Kind of looking at the pressure we've been able to against Northern Illinois. You look at Louisiana Tech. I think they gave up like 5 sacks in the last game as well. Like it's not a great opponent. So again, I think Cameron Lenhart. I believe he's
officially out.
Officially out. Okay, yeah, because he was a game time decision. I know Blaze Gunnarsson will be back, and there's some key players, but otherwise on defense. I just think this is a game we're going to see that shutout. We can really have some belief in, it's been a while, but black shirt defense. I think we'll actually be pretty proud and happy to call that black shirt defense. And I'm going to call for 2 turnovers today as well. Something we haven't seen from that defense. I'm calling for 2 turnovers. Again, you're getting a young, quarterback in his first career start, and Jack Turner, sophomore red shirt. You got to be able to confuse that guy. And Tony White's defense has shown over and over and over again, when they drop back in coverage, it's not always easy to pick up. So again, I'm calling for 2 turnovers, probably a couple of interceptions, just because that, you look at Louisiana Tech too, they like to throw the ball a lot.
They do.
Maybe this changes with the backup quarterback in there, but if they're going to go with that same game plan, I have a hard time saying that this Nebraska defense doesn't get 2 picks or maybe a couple fumbles as well.
Does Nebraska go +2 in turnovers, or does Nebraska turn it over at all? Where are you at with your confidence in the Husker offense keeping control of the ball?
+2. I'd be pretty confident in saying that we might give one up, but I'm fairly as confident as we get 3.
Nebraska over under 225 rushing yards.
Over.
250.
We'll go over, just because I think with the quarterback situation, I don't know if it's going to be the running back quarterback, but I think we'll probably see our quarterback leading rusher again.
275.
No, we're gonna keep it at 250.
250, 275. I like it. How many carries do you think? Let's say Nebraska goes for 250 on 45 carries. That'd be a little over 5 yards a pop. How many of those carries, you have to include scrambles as well, do you think go to the quarterback? How many to Anthony Grant, and how many to whoever backs them up, whether it's Emmett Johnson or Quentin Ives?
I'm guessing it's going to be Emmett Johnson.
Right. I think he's RB2.
Yeah. So, but I think it's going to be kind of that same situation where knowing that you kind of have Jeff Sims as your backup, I think they're going to be pretty okay with letting Heinrich Harburg run out there. And we saw, multiple times out there, he's going to have some options where he has the option to hand it off, but he's done a good job. And I don't think they're going to go away with that. So I'm honestly expecting, Harburg probably to be the leading rusher again. Ideally, probably not what I'd go for.
Right.
But we've seen with Satterfield, he likes to run his quarterback. So yeah, I'd probably put him anywhere between 18, 20 carries. And then hopefully you're seeing with Grant 15 plus carries. If he's anything below 15, I'm pretty upset with that number. And then, however they want to split it up between Quentin Ives, Emmett Johnson, to get to that 45. I think somewhere around there is probably what we'll see, just based on how Satterfield ran the quarterback before.
I think Anthony Grant has to be over 20 touches. I think that's a show of confidence in him. I think even if it doesn't work early, you need to tell your offensive line, we're not going to bail you out by using the quarterback. We're going to go with our running backs. You have to be able to block this against a team like this. Offensive line, have a day. You've got to. I get the quarterback position. It's good. It's a changeup. But Raph was talking with Strick too about, Husker quarterbacks in the past. There was a lot on their plates. They were running style quarterbacks, but they also made the right decisions, right? They had stud running backs behind them that made their life so much easier. They made the right decision when it came to pitch it or keep it on those option runs. So I think some of those carries too that we attribute to the quarterbacks making a different decision. I'm not saying right or wrong decision, but making a different decision. If you can take a hit and get 4 yards, or if your running back can take a hit and get 4 yards, I would rather pitch it and get the same 4 yards from a running back rather than give punishment to the quarterback.
Yeah, and again, it's always one of those things where I get it. It's super fun. Like, I'm a Bears fan. I love watching Justin Fields run, but it does scare you. Obviously, this year, we can talk about it. It might be a different conversation how bad they've been, but it's the same thing.
They got $100,000 of equipment stolen.
Yeah, the defense.
How does that happen?
It's not there during the game, and it's not there when the lights are off either. That's what I can say about that Bears defense. It's non-existent, 24/7, $100,000 for NFL. You can hear it in my voice. The Bears,
you don't even have the words.
Yes, it's been pure misery, and the defense is nowhere to be found, even with the security guard. So, but anyways, yeah, kind of going back to where I was. Heinrich Harburg, what is he, like 6'5", 230? maybe even
he's between 215 and 220.
Yeah, 215, I believe. But he's all 215 pounds of that. So yeah, it's exciting. Use your strengths. But I'm gonna be kind of honest. I just think with this quarterback system, I don't know how much we're gonna really see them try to pull them away, because you never saw him like when he was running guys over. You never really saw him on the sideline getting pulled by the coaches saying like, hey, yeah, good run. But those are things you can kind of see. And I never really saw that conversation on the sideline once. He was never talked to for doing that. So I think, maybe it's a smart thing to do, but they might have a guy in Jeff Sims that they're comfortable. Smart thing to do, but I think he's going to kind of probably keep running guys over.
There's not a lot of conversation on the sideline pyramid or period. There's just not a lot of talking that we see, right? You would think with the first year coaching staff, that would be a huge point of emphasis. Hey, let's make sure we're on the same page. Let's make sure we're communicating and we're, all moving forward the same direction. I want to turn our eyes east real quick to Clemson, South Carolina. The story, they get the kicker who's in grad school, comes back to Clemson when he's taking classes online, comes back in person. They're tied 24-24 with a minute 50 to go. That kicker just missed a field goal.
Where at?
At Clemson.
No, how far?
Minute 45 to go in the game. He could have been the hero. Could have had the Hollywood ending. Not to be. Florida State has the ball, a chance to go win it.
Man, that's a bummer for Clemson, because Clemson kind of had a nasty bug, obviously, early on. They were just promising. Everyone's kind of freaking out. But man, if they could have got this win, you're feeling a lot better. You're not feeling like, oh my God, the place is burning down. I mean, man, a win over number 4 Florida State would have been absolutely huge. And then I do have the scores up right now. What is the Michigan Rutgers? It was getting close for all those listening before we get out of here, as we're kind of wrapping things up.
Michigan Rutgers is over. It is in the books. 31-7 Wolverines.
Okay, so Wolverines ran away from it. But since we have Michigan up, I do kind of want to talk about that game, because for a little bit in that first half, previewing up to Michigan here, Rutgers did a pretty good job just running the ball. That's actually where they're keeping that game close. So, for a while there, it looks like Rutgers was going to have a shot just to kind of keep themselves in the game, hence good running game. So now you're looking at Nebraska, kind of what you're hoping. What I think is going to happen is the quarterback's going to have more carries. But again, if you can get that running back room going and, give him a couple of yards, that's another thing. Offensive line, you got to get more than 1 yard off the line of scrimmage. It's either we're getting blown back or we're getting a yard most. Start fast. But yeah, something to look forward to against Michigan. Kind of some of that success you saw early on for Rutgers. Obviously fell apart down the end. But Austin, final thoughts kind of before we get out of here on what you want to see from Nebraska today that's going to kind of catapult us to a win, whether offense or defense.
I want to see a commitment to the running back position. I want to see the offensive line take it upon themselves to make their running back's life as easy as possible. I want to see quick intermediate throws, right? Maybe take a shot here or there, but show a rhythm passing game, right? Get the ball out of Heinrich Harburg's hands quick. Let the playmakers make the plays. I want to see 30 points again, at least 30 points. Defense, I think, has the ability to hold Louisiana Tech under 10, but they're going to get horizontal. They're going to stretch. You got to be sound again. Smoke Harris is good. I've got Louisiana Tech covering, but I've got the Huskers winning by a couple possessions.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I got the Huskers winning, and again, I'm right there with you. Defense, I love it. Just give me turnovers. Offense, rhythm, and consistency. I don't need a ton of points. I just need rhythm, consistency to get you to win. That's going to be it for us. This has been the A1 Automotive Ticket Pregame Show. I'm Harrison. That's Austin Orman. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We will talk to you guys after the game.